The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Stunner!
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this big off-season Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. This program starts now. Football is alive and well, and obviously we'll dive into all of that because there is colossal news in the great state of Indiana. But before we get to all of that, I'd like to make an announcement. This morning, I released a video that Foxy pieced together stating the facts of Big Night. It'll be Wednesday, April 9th at PPG Paints Arena. Tickets will go on sale this Thursday, March 13th at noon Eastern. There will be not a single ticket for sale that's over $100. The cheapest ticket to get in will be $20. We're going to try to pack that place out and have a magical evening that is unprecedented, incomparable. And to be clear, I don't know if there's anything that'll ever be able to compare. The amount of people that'll be making surprise appearances is going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. There's going to be over $1 million given away in the arena that evening. It should be a fun night, a celebration of life, and hopefully we'll bring people together as society enjoys the greats from around the globe enjoying a night in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Big laughs, big sing-alongs, massive giveaways, a big night. And we thank you all so much for even allowing this to be a possibility. The fact that you watch this show is the reason why things like this happen. The boys will obviously be a part of the show, but it will not be this particular program. It'll be at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, April 9th. We expect it to run about, 2 hours or so, and the surprises are in abundance. The show has come together nicely, and I'll be partnering with the WWE, who will be doing the in-arena production, the staging, the lighting, the cameras, you name it. It's going to be a spectacle, and it should be an absolute blast. Wednesday, April 9th. Tickets go on sale Thursday, March 13th, just 2 days from now at noon Eastern, and $20 to get in. No ticket more than $100. We shall see you there. Now, this particular big off-season Tuesday, March 11, 2025, had some big news early. CJGJ has been traded from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Houston Texans, in return getting a guard back and a pick swap in the 5th and 6th round. And obviously yesterday, massive news. Laramie Tunsil was traded away from the Houston Texans to the Washington Commanders. And there's been other moves that have been made since we've last been live. But ladies and gentlemen, the big one is we got them. The Indianapolis Colts have signed their quarterback, not only of next year, but of the future. He's from Duke. He's a freak athlete, and he's ready to lead a team to success for the first time, long time. Sometimes you got to run into a few walls before you get to the championship title. Sometimes you got to slay a few dragons before you get to the princess. Sometimes you got to be on the Giants, then on the Vikings, and then you find yourself in Indianapolis. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Dahn's Indiana Jones has signed with the Indianapolis Colts on a 1-year, $14 million deal. And look out, AFC South. Look out, AFC. We got our guy. Now, there is a clip circulating, and I don't love this, from 2023 when I was talking about the Daniel Jones, Shane Steichen partnership and how magical it could be. It could be something special. What Shane Steichen was able to do with Jalen Hurts, now obviously, Jalen Hurts is now a Super Bowl champion, and Jalen Hurts is making $51 million a year. And Jalen Hurts has never been cut. Actually, others have been cut. Kenny Pickett actually sent to the Cleveland Browns yesterday. He was his backup quarterback. DTR now comes into Philadelphia to back up Jalen. So Jalen has never had the situation that Daniel Jones has had. But if you look at the body, look at the legs on Daniel Jones. Look at the upper body on Daniel Jones. Look at the running ability of Daniel Jones. And obviously, he can spin it with some slants, and he can hit whenever he has to. Now, will he be able to make the right decision all the time? We shall see. He's a Duke guy. Should have a high IQ.
Yep.
But he he and Shane Steichen with Pittman and the boys. Hello, goodbye to the bad times. Hello to the great times. Daniel Jones is now a quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, and I'll tell you what, I'm pumped up. Way to go, Ballard. Ballard's in his bag. He's been making a lot of moves. 9-year NFL vet, former Indianapolis Colt, host of Everything DB, Good D, Bad D. Darius J. Butler is here. D-Butts, you and me both saying the same thing. We got our guy. $14 million, 1 year, Daniel Jones.
Steal.
Not a lot of money in the quarterback room. And if this guy can come waltzing in here, if Indiana Jones can solve the mystery of how the hell to make this Colts team a professional team again and make them a good football team, I'm all the way in. Welcome to town, Danny. And I know you feel the same exact way, Derek.
I wouldn't go that far, unfortunately. You mentioned everything, DB. Dan Jones has made a few appearances on there on both sides. You know, he's made some plays, but he's given up some as well. But we always talk about on this show the Sam Darnolds of the world, the Baker Mayfields, the Genos. He can kind of hit that trajectory as well, getting here with Shane Steichen and figuring it out and hopefully turning that corner in his career. Chris Ballard talked about it at the Combine. He's going to bring in a guy to compete with Anthony Richardson, and this is what this is. $14 million, that's a lot of money. You expect this guy to have a real chance to get out there and start.
Yeah.
I saw Dan O say, hey, does AR ask for a trade? No.
Should.
Yeah,
absolutely. Fresh start. Fresh start, new building.
He doesn't ask for a trade.
Massive upside. If you're one of the other 31 teams, and, you know, Kevin O'Connell comes over to AR immediately after the game and says, you're a great football player, you're everything.
True.
Hey, don't think about it, you know, especially with, you know, Daniel Jones coming here now. And Tom Pelissero is reporting that J.J. McCarthy in line to be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings. So congrats to J.J.
Right, JJ.
Excited to see him do his thing with J.J. and Addison and Hawk and Aaron Jones and Kevin O'Connell. But I think if you're one of the other 31 teams, remember what you thought about Anthony Richardson. A lot of upside. Guy's got a ton of potential. It's going to cost you. Okay, we're not just got for number 4 overall pick for just a 6th or 7th rounder. No, obviously going to put value on this man because that is the ability. But you know, maybe he does ask for a trade, and maybe a fresh new start somewhere else is what Anthony Richardson needs. And you know what? If that's the case, if he does look to go somewhere else, we will appreciate the hell out of his time in this city. And we will be thankful that we were able to be like grade school for him to learn how to play football and be a football player and be a professional and everything like that. And I think he would have massive success somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's got to learn how to be a pro for sure. And, you know, Coach Nation's torn on Anthony Richardson. And Coach Nation has kind of
the more they learn about him, though, they probably wouldn't be torn if I had to guess.
We've been on a QB carousel since Andrew Luck retired. You know, you're going from Peyton in the great years of Peyton. Andrew Luck had a good run, and then since then it's been that cycle. It's been Phillip Rivers, it's been Carson Wentz, it's been this guy, it's been that guy. So do we look at this as a long-term answer? No.
What? He's 27?
There's a chance.
He's 27 years old.
There is a chance.
At least 10 years.
There is a chance. But
guys are playing in their 40s.
Exactly.
We made some great moves on defense.
Forget the defense. We will get into great moves on defense. Shout out Mooney coming to town.
Hell yeah, all-pro Mooney.
The prize possession at corner, where's he coming? Indianapolis. Kevin O'Connell was over there salivating over Daniel Jones. Sorry about it, but he's coming to Indianapolis. I mean, we made some plays. Let's go to the talks table at Boston Connor. And Bruce Brown sitting in once again for Ty. Please send all your love to Ty and his family. We can't wait to see you soon, Ty. Conman, the New England Patriots had a great free agency start. We will get into that.
For sure.
But when you talk about the Indianapolis Colts, feels like Chris Ballard is making moves to try to change a little culture and let's heighten the professionalism of this operation a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
A lot of it.
Yeah, Mooney Ward and then also Cam Bynum, huge for their secondary, especially when you look at, you know, the teams in the division with C.J. Stroud throwing the ball all over the yard and, you know, Trevor Lawrence, you assume they're still going to be spinning it. So those are two massive in the secondary. But looking at Daniel Jones, this is the first real competition, like, hey, we're not just bringing in some vet to show you the ropes. Now we're bringing in a guy who's in his 20s who can really put the pressure on you, who really could be the future of this team. So if you are AR, sure, Flacco last year, you're looking at one of the all-time greats, you know, behind you, but he's more so there to kind of help you along. Now when you're looking at Daniel Jones, if you're Anthony Richardson, you're looking over your shoulder at one of the possible all-time greats. I mean, we can't.
We don't know.
We can't.
He's still got 15 years left on his career.
Guy's 27.
Did I miss a pre-production meeting?
This guy's 27
Did you watch the playoff game?
Hold on. Don't say anything. Don't say anything, actually. Foxy, can you go back to the beginning? Let's go ahead and turn some sound on. What did you miss? Everything, apparently. Hit that, please.
Oh, shit.
This is what you missed.
Oh, wait, is this a playoff game?
Yeah. It might not be, but. Oh, yeah.
Get it!
Yeah.
Stiff arm! That's what you missed. That's what you missed.
What's up, Patrick Peterson?
Boom! That's what he did. Boom!
Oh.
Boom!
Darius Slayton? What?
Uh-oh.
Meet your new best friend.
Give me another one. Oh!
See how tight that
I
spiral
could
was?
have cut glass.
Spin it. You can
Just
spin
listen
it.
to music, bro. Get lost in it.
It's good beat.
Look at this dart.
Touchdown.
Isaiah Hodgins who?
That's playoff touchdown, brother.
Meet Alec Pierce.
That's playoff touchdown right there, brother.
Threw for 301 and 2 tutties in the playoffs.
Is that good? Look how tight that's. Yeah. And I don't want to remind everybody every single time I talk about this. Anthony Richardson, obviously, massive upside and can still continue to get better. But as we watch these darts from Danny Dimes from 10 years ago, let's make sure we remind everybody.
Yeah, of course.
Anthony Richardson, okay, his 2024 completion percentage, 47.7. Okay, NFL average is 65.3. Relative to the league, Richardson had the least accurate passing season in the history of the NFL. Okay, now let alone everything else that's potentially happening, not on the field, the professionalism part and being a leader of a team, and did he even have a chance walking into that locker room with how they were operating? Probably not.
Tough, yeah.
Probably not, especially whenever he only played like 5-6 games throughout the entirety of his high school and college career somehow, and is still as good as he is. When you talk about just walking into a place and having no idea what to expect or what's going on, I think that's Anthony Richardson, number 4 overall pick, massive upside. Is he going to be able to get there? We have no idea. Will he have the work ethic to get there? We have no idea. Will he have the professionalism to pay attention to every single detail about how he presents himself, how he operates, and how he goes about his business on the day-to-day? Treatment in meetings, in workouts, in being on time,
important,
being early, all these things about being a professional. Will AR do that this offseason? Maybe. Especially now that there's a little bit more pressure and that they publicly announced that we're going to bring in some competition. But for me, Danny Dimes, sure, he's thrown some pick sixes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sure, he's looked terrible at times.
He's tripped over.
But he doesn't have a 47.7 completion percentage.
Well,
I assume he shows up on time to everything.
Certainly.
I assume he'll be a guy that'll be like, yeah, I'm an NFL quarterback. I'm going to be a professional. So nonetheless, it'll be good for AR to either see it or it'll be good for a 27-year-old to get paid $14 million as a starting quarterback in the NFL with a Shane Steichen offense. Now, I don't know if Chris Ballard is done with the big prize hunting and everything like that in this free agency period, but I think there's some trades you could probably make too to make this team even better. Some really good pieces on our team that we could certainly get the hell out of town.
No doubt.
And maybe get some things back so we have a massive draft as well.
Yeah.
You're talking about a couple more pieces being added in here, and if Danny can play good football, like we saw with that incredible beat behind it, look out for the Indianapolis Colts. Look out for Danny Dimes' resurgence, just like all the boys had.
I'm sure Bruce agrees wholeheartedly.
Bruce Brown, Giants fan, you've seen him more than anybody.
I'll tell you what, yesterday I may have been a little hard on Danny Dimes, but this morning, thinking back over it, 2022, we were just watching the playoff win highlights. 2023, we let him get sacked 1,000 times. His legs snapped in half. He had a neck. He basically
had no chance.
He basically died on the field in 2023. Comes back in 2024, a little shell shocked, and now he gets a fresh start right here. And of all the knocks, the turnovers, the fumbles, the not being able to set a protection pre-snap, all that stuff, you do not have to worry about him coming in, working hard, putting his head down, no matter what. And he is a tough son of a gun.
And with that being said, over rush yards always a hit for Danny Dimes. So that's good for us, especially in a state that has legalized gambling. And also, something you need to think about, okay? Sam Darnold, what happened whenever he went somewhere and came
27-year-old?
Baker Mayfield, when he went around and came back to another place. Even Kirk Cousins will say, whenever he went around to a new place. You learn a little bit. You get a little perspective. And whenever he has Shane Steichen calling the plays, Shane Steichen took Gardner Minshew to the fucking Pro Bowl. Okay?
He did.
Don't ever forget that.
I thought we weren't doing that anymore.
Damn near playoff.
I thought we weren't doing that with the Pro Bowl anymore. We made that decision.
I know he was like the 15th alternate. Doesn't matter. Still had a Pro Bowl jersey.
Okay.
And we're one play away from winning the AFC South. Hosting a playoff game with Gardner Minshew. No offense, Gardner. Dog. Or absolute dog. Gardner vastly different than Daniel Jones. So let's have a little faith in Shane Steichen. maybe going to be a little bit more of an accountability-driven coach. We'll hope for.
Maybe.
Maybe the building will get like that a little bit.
Maybe.
But also, with him drawing up plays, he understands Danny Dimes' weakness. Yeah. Danny Dimes understands his weakness. Danny Dimes already been paid. So Danny Dimes ain't going to be scared to, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. We got a little bit more of this.
Yeah, he's gonna
a little bit more of that, you know?
Me.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
Some RPOs.
Convinced you.
Yeah.
You were all in this morning.
Well, back and forth, but you guys, you
never back and forth. He was out.
It was a tough scene for sure. But my real worry is that Shane Steichen does completely just turn into shite stinking.
What?
With the O line, now that is left. I mean, Bill Fries and Ryan.
Fries
Kelly
just
both
got
suck.
$88 million.
Yeah,
we missed him last year. I realized.
Yeah, he got hurt early, and the offensive line's a huge problem. And when you're looking at Daniel Jones, the biggest thing when he was with the Giants, hey, the offensive line stinks, so Daniel Jones
used to it.
Ipso facto stinks. No, yeah, used to stinking behind a shite O-line. So you got to worry about best skill positions he's ever played with by far. He went to the KOC middle school, if you will, of quarterback, and now he's with Shane Steichen, hopefully who stays as Shane Steichen and not shite stinking, because we've seen how it turns. It turns bad, brother.
We just saw the Houston Texans trade Laramie Tunsil. Okay, we can package together a couple Pro Bowlers, and we could probably get a couple big boys to come right in here to Indianapolis. I think Chris Ballard is still cooking. Now, with Danny Dimes coming here to Indianapolis, the Minnesota Vikings quarterback job would be the big conversation piece because Sam Darnold signs with Seattle yesterday for $100.5 million. But allegedly, Tom Pelissero of NFL Network is reporting that is J.J. McCarthy's job. So, what does that mean for one half of the hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Tone Diggs? What are the Pittsburgh Steelers thinking about all these decisions that are being made at the quarterback position? And where do you kind of sit right now on day 2 of the free agency frenzy?
Yeah, on this quarterback musical chairs NFL situation, it is basically down to the Steelers and Giants on Aaron Rodgers' watch. The loser gets Russell Wilson, I believe, in that situation. Now, I am in the minority. When I say that I want Aaron Rodgers to be the Steelers quarterback.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah.
In Pittsburgh or just everywhere?
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Pittsburgh.
All right, got it.
Big time. I'm not sure why. They were super high on Justin Fields. And like I said yesterday, Justin Fields was a great teammate. But, when you have
$30 million guaranteed to the Jets, Justin Fields.
It's a lot of money for Justin Fields. When you have DK and you have GP, you need one of the all-time great ball throwers, okay? And that is Aaron Rodgers. Talked about it yesterday. The blueprint is out there. Manning to Denver, Brady to Tampa Bay, Rodgers to Pittsburgh. Now, you guys said it yesterday. He went to the Jets. Like I said, that's not a real situation. That's not a real program. Okay, that doesn't even. I don't even think that counts on his record.
Won't even be chatted about.
That'll be at the end of his career. Those stats and stuff. They'll
say he tore his Achilles whenever he was with the Jets, and then he was able to bounce back. Blah blah blah. What we think
that'll all be expunged. If we lose out on if Aaron Rodgers isn't our quarterback, I don't know who's gonna be. Okay,
Russ.
What if he doesn't he's just sitting there and be like, twiddling his fingers like, I'm gonna go back to this team that obviously clearly doesn't want me, that offered Justin, that is waiting on Aaron. Like, what if he's gone?
About Joe Milton for TJ Watt, brother. I got a solution
Frames
for you.
Stealing.
Yeah, when Patriots signed a backup quarterback, Joe Milton, we saw what he can do. He can spin the rock like nobody else, and maybe George Pickens, you throw him in there.
To be clear, I've heard Pittsburgh Steelers fans in this office this morning go, there's a chance Joe Bros are a quarterback room for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who was that, Nick?
That was Joe Milton from New England. We make a simple trade for him, maybe like a 5th, 6th round pick, something like that. And then we look to the waiver wire, the free agent market, and we see someone no one's talking about. An old familiar face, Joe Flacco, just sitting there, waiting to be plucked.
Steelers will be. Did he play for the Bengals ever?
No.
Okay, so that'd be the 3rd team, obviously, in the AFC North that Joe Flacco would have played for. And Joe Flacco can still spin it. Now, he did not play as well as I had hoped for the Indianapolis Colts. Kind of put me in a bind. It kind of put me in a little bit of a spot. Now, the more we're hearing about what was happening behind the scenes, Joe Flacco should have been starting much earlier than that particular game. But Joe Flacco can spin it. And he was able to do that with Cleveland. He took them on a playoff run fresh off the couch. I think he's able to be a great vet for you. Is he a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers this upcoming season? I think Steelers fans would be a little bit flustered, but better than a potential alternative. You have no quarterbacks on the roster. There is Chris Boswell is the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What pick do you guys have?
20.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, there is Will Hard.
Also, Steelers fans are freaking out because Florio put out an educated guess that Aaron would probably get 2 years, $90 million. Pretty sure that's not true.
Why are you saying you're pretty sure of that?
Sure. What do you know?
What do you know?
It's Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that it's not going to be 2 years, $90 million.
How do you know that? How can you be so sure?
Call him
Joe
his
Shane could
cowboy.
have offered it.
Sam just got 33.
Huh?
Sam Darnold.
Oh no, Aaron's worth that.
Of course.
Certainly.
I don't know. Maybe he's just
Market.
looking for.
Marcus telling.
I don't know, Pat. What do you think?
No, Tone.
No,
this
please.
is on you, Bob.
Don't go on.
You're the
What's
one
going on?
correcting reports.
How do you know, Tony?
I was just thinking in my top of my head. I think Aaron is looking to go in and just be with a great franchise and take a nice deal.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is that what you're hearing?
friendly?
Is that just in your brain? Like, are you just that's what you're hoping for or thinking, or why are you?
I don't know. I feel like someone around here said that.
I mean, Bitcoin's down. I think he might ask for 50.
Yeah.
Is
Good
Bitcoin
point.
down? Or are we down?
Is there a Bitcoin guy?
Everything's down.
Yeah, it's crashing, brother.
I thought Bitcoin was going up though.
It's crashing.
No, you got to break it down to build it back up.
Hold on, now buy the dips, right? And this kind of the game. Now, it sucks for
certainly.
everybody. I feel bad for everybody that's currently doing it. I am not a person that plays the market or any of the crypto. Been offered a lot of crypto over the years. Hey, we got a lot of money for you to be made. All you got to do is push this, and then on the backside, you'll be able to do this, and yada, yada. That doesn't sound real. No, it is. Everybody's doing it. Look around. Everybody's doing it. I'm like, I'm not smart enough for all that stuff. But I do know there's been a couple times where we could have got in on Bitcoin. And then over the next few weeks, I watched that fucker just go straight up.
Straight back
and I'm like,
up.
if this is real money, which I don't know if it is, I don't know how it works. Once again, everybody does. If this is real, boy, we really missed out on this. Like, we could have been in a few times. You're saying he's coming back down. You're saying he's coming back down. Like,
We're in correction territory right now. Down 8 to 10% across the board, basically every equity in the world.
Bitcoin real though.
I don't know.
What?
The jury's
Yes,
out on
true.
You've been pushing this since day
I'm not
one.
pushing anything. It's for entertainment purposes only.
D-Butch
Bitcoin is real.
D-Butch was a financial advisor a few years
Definitely
back.
not.
Came on the
Definitely
show. Yeah, you guys need to get into this crypto.
Well, that's a lot. He's got his jump drive on him every single day.
I told you too. Bitcoin, Ethereum. Anything else, it's out of my lane.
Now, to be clear, we do apologize to everybody that is in the market. And when I wake up and my phone app just has red on, I go, I'm so sorry to hear that for you guys.
Tough.
Part of the game.
It is part of the game. From what I've been told, I don't know. I got money for the first time in 2009. Do you know what happened in 2008?
Yeah.
Every rich person lost every dollar they had. So for my first time meeting rich people, hey, how's it going? Money-wise, not great. Did you see what happened last year? No, what happened? Oh, we lost everything. You didn't even get to enjoy it? No, gone. Boof. Just like that. So I made a conscious decision then that if my money's going to disappear, at least I'm going to enjoy it. And I've kind of carried that into 37. I got a lot of people telling me I'm an idiot. You got to let your money work for you.
You're in the market.
Yeah.
Got a 401k.
With the NFL.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. I'm sure I'll remember to get that out, however that works. I don't even know how that thing works. I'm sure I'll live long enough to be able to pull that. I'm just not smart enough for it all. CFO Phil dabbled in there a little bit, started learning about it, and he tried to explain it to me, and I'm like, this ain't for me, bro. I'd rather we just see what it's going. But I would like everybody to know we're sorry that that's happening, but in this long game you guys always talk about, you're playing chess here.
No, exactly. Like if you bought that day in 2008, it went up 200% to present day.
Bingo. Yeah, could have been there. But the 2008 thing is going to,
It's always
never
lurking.
happen again, hopefully.
No, it's always lurking. The dreaded R-word recession. Always. It's always lurking.
Such a cool word to start that. Recess. I love recess.
Yeah, everybody loves recess.
Yeah, I absolutely loved recess. Anyways, good luck to everybody. Big money has been spent, though. Just yesterday, Bruce Brown, how much money was spent, Pop?
$2.45 billion total. 921 million guaranteed. 724 million on offense. 1.5 billion on defense. The Panthers and Patriots leading that charge.
Hell yeah.
The Panthers filling out their defense. The Patriots obviously leading the way with Milton Williams, 104 million total. That was the highest total on the day. The Vikings just 84 million yesterday, but a big splash this morning. They are now up to 261 million total, with Will Fries getting that 88 million. They also brought back Byron Murphy. The Colts, obviously, on defense with Charvarius Ward and Cam Bynum. The Giants also making some waves with a Debo. And we got, a nice little tackle and spent about $140 million on guys that nobody knows.
That's a great breakdown of all the money that was spent out yesterday. Go ahead.
No, the Giants got Javon Holland, too.
Yes, Javon Holland this morning
safety
as
from
well.
the Miami Dolphins. That's a big deal. Obviously, everybody's talking about him. But we have news happening right now.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, a bag has been delivered. This one at the home of the Chiefs are giving a 2-year, $20 million deal to Chargers corner Christian Fulton with $15 million fully guaranteed. Deal was done by Todd France of A1 Athletes First. D-Buck quick, Christian Fulton, baller. Chiefs making this move. How come, you think?
Good coach, good system over there. He is a good player. Was on that dominant LSU team coming out of there. So he was one of the young guys on that team. But he's been good. Still finding his foot. I think this is a good deal for him. I am interested to see where Justin Reed ends up, safety that has been on the Texans and then formerly on the Chiefs, back-to-back champ. So I'm interested to see what his market is and where he ends up with all these safeties getting big deals.
Joining us now is the man that broke this news, senior NFL insider for NFL Network, Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, Rap Sheet.
What's up? Rap Sheet, we had a chance to talk to you. Yep, you found it. I like how you lose some time for us and then you back on TV straight up into
Smart.
that thing.
I mean, the neck, it's ties are sort of out now, except when we got to do this kind of stuff. So it's there, and it's just kind of here, and it's just a lot. It's
super casual and talk to the boys.
Happy hour.
Chilling.
Yeah, this is a little happy hour networking.
Can't come soon enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on these days. We were talking to you this morning, and you were super antsy. You're super antsy. I'm like, hey, is there going to be more stuff coming today? And you're like, well, maybe. You start doing all this weird shit. Daniel Jones, obviously, to the Indianapolis Colts. GJ getting traded. And now Christian Fulton getting signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. Is today going to be a big day and continue to be a big day? Or what is your feeling and expectation here on day 2 of free agency frenzy?
Yeah, so when you FaceTimed, I was getting ready to hit send on the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson tweet, the trade with Kenyon Green, and I'm like, and then I answered, and I'm like, oh my God, did I accidentally hit send? Because you got to make sure that all parties are informed. Draft pick trades are easy; those are fast. You don't have to inform the draft picks they're traded; they don't care, right? But if it's a player, that's one call. If it's 2 players, that's 2 calls. So you have to find both players, call them. So I was waiting to hit send. You FaceTime, and I'm like, that would actually be really annoying if I accidentally hit send while it's queued up on my phone.
And our fault. That's on us. That
No. Got to take ownership. That's on me. Okay. But it didn't happen. So we ended up getting this trade, which was actually it's a really interesting trade. So the Texans were trying to find a safety. I know they had some interest in Javon Holland. Javon Holland goes to the Giants today for a bag. 345.3, I think, is the deal, with some upside there. So that was sort of a splash for the Giants. And then it was sort of like, all right, well, obviously the Texans still need a safety. Is there any available? I had heard rumblings that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson could potentially be available. They do the trade. Eagles get some offensive line help. And that was sort of a thing. You had the Daniel Jones thing, which Indiana Jones, I didn't think of that.
Shout out Billy Toops. Yeah, Bill McComas, who is a diehard Indianapolis Colts fan, has been his entire life. As soon as Daniel Jones comes over, his little meathead brain goes, Indiana Jones coming to save the day. Yeah, so that was his immediate thoughts. You could have put that out in your tweet. You did not, so you did miss it. Bailey McComas got you.
I didn't think of it. Yeah. When I can't do, I'm pretty funny, obviously. I can't really do comedy when it's serious like this. It doesn't work in my brain. So that one's on me. I blew that.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't spell comedian without Ian. Yeah, I forgot. That was from a few years back. I haven't got a chance to chat with you in a while, because you made me look like an asshole. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, you did. But now that I'm learning more about your place of work, maybe you had no idea. That is kind of the, it's an interesting. Time is a flat circle.
Bingo.
It is a flat circle.
Time is a
we're
flat.
Back. I'm happy to be back. I love you guys. I missed you.
Yeah, we missed you too. We told you that in person, especially whenever, you were going to beat Schultz's ass at his dad's coffee shop. You did not call security. We broke that news. We're thankful you did not, because we would not have been able to talk with you if that was the case, especially if there was no physical.
That would have been lame.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been lame.
And listen, people do that. You got to be safe. We probably won't have you on our show now.
Right.
speaking of time being a flat circle, Minnesota Vikings, they miss out on Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones comes to the Colts. J.J. McCarthy now, I believe Tom Pelissero tweeted, is looking to be the starter for the Vikings. Is that accurate? And does that mean Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings? No. Aaron Rodgers, Giants, Steelers, probably the real conversation.
Yeah, so we'll get to the J.J. McCarthy thing first. So the Vikings were in on Daniel Jones. They made a strong offer. It was more to I would say competition in the QB room. Like it was an offer similar to what he ended up taking with the Colts. So it's sort of bridge starter money. But if you're in Minnesota, they really like J.J. McCarthy in camp. Obviously, he didn't play last year because of the injury. But the upside is a lot. I mean, he's barely played, but they really, really like him. So it's all right, didn't get the sort of backup / bridge starter. Let's roll. Well, now, I think they're going to add a veteran anyway, but I don't get a sense it'll be competition. I get more of a sense it'll be depth. It sounds like it's going to be J.J. McCarthy's time. And, if you're, we've seen some young quarterbacks do very well very quickly. He had a year to learn, came all the way back from an injury. He's going to get coached by an exceptionally good coaching staff. And with, if you're a quarterback and you get to throw to Justin Jefferson, that's pretty good. This is an incredible situation for him. I had wondered about Aaron Rodgers because I had heard that Rodgers really liked the Vikings as a destination, which,
who wouldn't if you're a quarterback? Yeah, who wouldn't?
Right. And it's now following Favre thing is sort of whatever.
Time.
Circle. But,
flat.
I would say to me, it is Steelers or Giants for Rodgers. Sometimes you can get a feel for these things. I felt Daniel Jones, for instance, was headed to the Colts late last night. I've gone back and forth on Rodgers, and I can say I don't know. It's a really hard choice. I have some thoughts, but I don't know which way he's leaning.
Okay, so I legitimately don't know. We'll ask AJ in the next hour. You're assuming that Aaron has told people. You're telling us that teams think Aaron is coming back to play because that was the first question, right? Does Aaron want to sign up to do the entire football thing again when his legacy is already cemented as a Hall of Famer, Mount Rushmore player, and he's the highest paid quarterback or player in the history of the NFL. Now, these deals might change that as we go into the next couple years for guys. Congratulations to them. But it's from what you're hearing, Aaron having conversations, Aaron interested, and Giants Steelers, you don't know which one is more in the lead in this particular convo, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth because, if it's the Giants, first of all, he doesn't have to move. Second of all, it's a team they've added in free agency. They still got some weapons. They are a team that, when they've had a good quarterback or even decent quarterback play, they've won. I mean, they had Drew Lock playing well in a game, late in the season, which really would have been better for them if they had lost. But that's a whole different story. That's a pretty intriguing situation. And then you have, the Steelers who've lost a lot in free agency, but it's still the Steelers, right? I mean, you got that defense, you got the fans, you got the stadium, you got Tomlin. I can understand why it's a tough decision. We in life rarely face these kind of decisions like these players do. Usually it's sort of obvious. These are real tough decisions,
Yeah, legacy, especially with how the Jets went, with how the Jets went.
That's exactly right.
With everything it's set up. And once again, Aaron has not told me. He's probably told AJ, even though AJ refuses to say anything because AJ will just lie right to all of us.
So bad.
Yeah, exactly. He uses his friends as friends. What a weird thing.
Wake up,
You're the one that's been telling him for years. He needs to use his friends as sources.
It would be helpful to us if he did.
Yeah, to you. To me, it'd be. I'm completely okay either way, however it goes. But
for you, it would be complicated.
For me, it'd be very interesting. Inevitably, we'll find out what the case is. Has to happen relatively soon. Is that the expectation for this particular convo, Rep?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because reality is, if you're a team, let's say, I actually don't know what you're going to pay him. Trying to figure out what you pay Aaron Rodgers is actually a real challenge. I feel like it'd be sort of what would you take to come play for us? That's when you get to this point, that's kind of the negotiations, right? It's we'd like you. Can you just figure out a good salary? But teams need to know where the money's being spent. Now, I would say nothing's more important than the quarterback. So, if you're the Steelers or Giants, you'd like to know, but you're not going to hassle Rodgers and be hey, I know you're, going for a swim in the ocean or something. But or whatever. I don't know. But can you answer the phone?
What are some other hobbies? What are some other hobbies you think Aaron's doing right now? Swimming in the ocean. What else?
I don't know if it's like a plant medicine retreat that could be going on right now. Like, you got to put your phones away for those things. I've heard, obviously.
You've heard.
Yeah, you've never done it, obviously. We know that.
So yeah, put your phone away and then answer it whenever. So I think he'll let them know when he lets them know. But I personally would rather it be today.
Okay, so you would like to be today. Is that a possibility from what you're hearing?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility.
Okay, all right. So we will keep that on the docket. Now, one of those teams obviously has great representation on this particular program. Tone has a question for you, Rap, as you do your business. And if you need to, you just do what you got to do. We can talk right around you.
Yeah, Rap, let's pretend you're a team with no quarterbacks on it. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't pick your team. The Patriots signed Josh Dobbs yesterday. Does that mean Joe Milton's available?
Yeah, so I wondered about this too.
Yeah.
I would say I have not heard any traction toward a Joe Milton trade. I haven't. I've asked plenty. I've not heard any traction.
Okay.
I will think about this like I always think about quarterbacks. It's like, yes, could the Patriots get value for Joe Milton? They really could. Like, they really could. He is cheap. He is promising. When he played, he looked good.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. He may have to play for the Patriots. I have no idea what's going to happen with Drake May. God forbid something, gets injured or something, which would be terrible, but sometimes does happen. He might have to play. So what would be worth it to the Patriots to trade him for, where you say, like, we have to deal him, we're getting this, and we're not going to worry about, our backup quarterback. Like, maybe the Patriots will be good this year. Maybe they'll be better. And maybe Joe Milton will have to play in a meaningful game. Would it be worth it for, like, a second-round pick or something? Like, I don't know that it would be. Teams hate to trade quarterbacks who might have to play.
Yeah, Joe Milton not worth a second-rounder is a crazy thought. Good for Joe. Congrats to Joe.
Maybe he is, but just that, I'll tell you what. I have no idea what's going to happen with Joe Milton's career, but there's a lot of people who really like him.
Yeah. After watching him, how could you,
need to see him start from somebody.
Bazooka Joe, he can throw the ball forever, and he can just do a standing backflip with ease. So anybody that has that type of athleticism can throw the ball like that. And let's assume, he's in New England for a year. Even if he stays for another year with Vrabes, he's going to be ready to do something. Need to see Joe do his thing. We've seen a guy be at an all-pro level. He got traded yesterday. Wow. At a position you would think that the Texans would need. D-Bud has a question for you, Rap.
Yeah, I know it's free agent frenzy right now. We've had huge trades, DK Metcalf, CJ, GJ, but Laramie Tunsil, we rarely see great quarterbacks, great pass rushers, and great left tackles available. Any insight onto why the Texans moved on for Laramie at this point?
Yeah, that was, of all the things yesterday, that was probably the most surprising. Like, heard a whisper, checked on it, and was still like, all right, hang on, is this really true? So he has made a lot of money from the Texans. He is an awesome player, one of the best left tackles of, I guess, the last decade, right? Him and Trent, well, there's a couple of him and Trent Williams. He is awesome. And the Commanders, take the Commander side of it first. They were in on a bunch of tackles. They were in on Ronnie Stanley. They were in on Dan Moore. When it became clear that they were either not getting those guys or weren't going to put up the money it would take to get them just value-wise, they quickly pivoted to, who's the best left tackle who could potentially be available. The Texans have paid Laramie Tunsil a couple times. He is getting up in age. He is still awesome. But, might he want another contract? Possibly. And I think if you're the Texans paying third or fourth contracts, whatever it is, even at a premium position, even for an offensive line that struggled, it's a lot. It felt like, to me, it was probably time. And look, they got to rebuild that offensive line. Kenyon Green got traded today, Tunsil yesterday. They've got some work to do, but they've got draft picks. They've got a little bit of money, and I think that's priority number one now for the Texans.
I'll tell you what. Did everybody know Laramie Tunsil was available?
Yeah, they kind of, I don't want to say shopped, because it's not like they were shopping is more like we're trying to get rid of him. If not, we'll cut him. They talked to some teams who are in the tackle market, and some of those teams opted for younger or cheaper versions.
Okay. We'll see.
Bad move.
Yeah, we will.
We'll see. No, this is the really interesting stuff to me. It's several teams who either signed tackles or were in the tackle market, had the chance for Tunsil, decided not to. We're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, I know how it's going to go with Tunsil. Tunsil's going to do his shit. That's how it's going to go. CJ's wondering what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
and Jaden Daniels is going, Thank you.
Yeah.
Everything going on in Washington right now. They bring in Debo. They bring in Laramie Tunsil for him. I mean, what they're doing in Washington, trying to flip this culture and continue to go, not just have a one-off, good for them. I'm pumped for them. When I saw Laramie's name move, I was like, what? That was right after we went off the air.
Yeah.
I think it was like 20 minutes afterwards. I was surprised. Very surprised.
Yeah, I mean, money obviously always makes sense. I just assume maybe locker room or something that we aren't privy to because, once again, you don't see these type of guys at that position move. And then with how shitty the Texans' offensive line was last year, to move on from him was definitely a head-scratcher.
Okay, let's move away from the AFC South, which has changed over the last 24 hours for sure. Let's go to the NFC West with a team that always has something going on. Connor has a question for you, Rap.
Yeah, Rap Sheet. Obviously, the 49ers have lost a lot of people. We just mentioned Debo getting traded to the Commanders, and then yesterday, I believe, all their players combined, they earned $276 million elsewhere in different spots around the league. And, now it's kind of being in question what's going on over there. Is a Brock Purdy massive contract, is that something that's coming soon? Is that the reason why they're kind of letting all these guys go? And then when it comes to the Bosa situation, it was reported that Joey Bosa got an offer from San Fran and Miami for around $10 million. Is that kind of the expectation? He's going to one of those two places. And when can we see some of this stuff starting to happen to the 49ers? Because I know their fans are kind of freaking out right now.
Yeah, this is well, first of all, I think that's right on Bosa. I think he's going to have some other options too, but I think those teams are definitely in the mix. That makes the number makes sense, and joining his brother to me also makes sense. But so two things. One, I was looking at the list. Jalen Moore is. I would guarantee that 98% of NFL fans have never heard of Jalen Moore.
Yes, we didn't yesterday. We didn't yesterday.
You did not.
Yeah. When it got signed, we were like, okay, Jalen Moore. All right.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was the guy who filled in for Trent Williams for like 7 games over the last however many years, and no one noticed him because he played really well. So, if it's the Chiefs, and obviously they've needed a left tackle, they are buying the upside. The price is for really good for players barely play, but if he's a starting left tackle, it's good for both sides. They weren't going to re-sign him. They have Trent Williams. But so about the 49ers, I'm sure their fans are going crazy. I'm sure. But this is what really good teams should do, right? You should let guys who are looking for third contracts or guys who you can't afford to pay leave, and you draft and develop behind them. That's what, for the Patriots for years did that. The Ravens do it. Steelers do it. The Chiefs certainly do it. The really good teams can let their big-ticket free agents go, knowing that they have the confidence in the personnel department to draft behind it, and it doesn't get any head. I think the Ravens, I don't know that have they made a move? I don't think they made a move yet, but this is what they do. Last year they let their whole offensive line go, it felt like, and they just replenished them in the draft, kept it rolling. That's what the good teams do.
They signed Chuck Pagano.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they signed Chuck Pagano, senior advisor. You didn't know who Chuck Pagano was?
Made some changes to
I was
the band.
sitting next to Pelissero in Mobile when he broke that, and I was so mad.
Oh, you were mad? Why? Because he was leaving our program?
Yes. No, because I didn't break it. I'm like, seriously? I was like, I got it. I'm like, all right.
Okay. So Pelissero gets to break the Chuck Pagano news that broke our hearts, didn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever it got officially announced.
Devastating.
Brock Purdy's the other part of that conversation. They're going to have to pay him. What's that number going to be?
Yeah, so I don't get the sense it's imminent, but it's always coming. So teams do budgeting on out. They know it's coming, and they do have to account for it. What's the number going to be is interesting. So Josh Allen got 55. Dak's at 60. You got the Trevor Lawrence at 55. You got Jordan Love at 55. My sense is that's probably the target. Is it going to be high or low? I don't know. 49ers have been, unless they get to a point where they are right up against the season, they've been, with Brandon Ayuk last year, that was a big contract. But generally they've been, pretty conservative with these contracts. I'm going to be fascinated to see where this goes, but in that range right there is where you're looking. I just don't know where it actually fits in.
All right, and Josh Allen obviously changed the game completely with $250 million in guarantees. Congrats to him and Brandon Beane.
That was a nice deal.
Yeah, that was a very nice deal. Brandon Beane, 4 years left or whatever. So you know what? Yeah. And Brandon Beane came on our particular program and said every time a new quarterback deal gets done, Josh Allen looks at Beane and goes, "Is that right?" And then just kind of walks by. Great relationship, great vibes at Buffalo. They've made a lot of plays, and he is obviously incredibly wealthy.
Really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Really?
He said it's been happening for like the last couple of years. Oh, I heard. Did you hear Trevor Lawrence? Could you imagine Josh? Trevor's a good player. Trevor's a good player. Did you see what he did? And then Dak signs for 60.
That's actually a funny bit.
Yeah, I think so too. Walking into Beane's office. Good morning, Beane. Good to see you, dude. Dak Prescott. Oh, wow. All right, I'll see you, man. Just walking out of there. I think they got a great relationship, though, which is a part of the Buffalo Bills culture. And the more you hear Beane talk about Josh Allen, the more you're like, oh, what a perfect quarterback for Buffalo. Yeah. Like, he is Buffalo, basically, at this point. Now, got a Hollywood lady, but she spent she was like, I think it's becoming like
she's a bit of a dog, too.
People like Buffalo.
Huh?
Like, I like Buffalo.
Yes, cold
like,
as
that's
shit. I mean, cold as hell. And obviously a lot of snow. But in the summer when the sun's out, lakes up there, I mean, it is beautiful for like 2 months there, 2.5 months. And then everything else.
Rest of the time, very cold.
Bars stay open till 4 a.m., though. I mean, like a good time culture. Obviously, any city that creates buffalo wings is A-okay with me, piece of Americana. So Josh Allen being their face for the long haul is good, and I think Beane knew that. And the Buffalo Bills now know exactly what their culture is. And that's a good place to be, especially when those Chiefs are lurking. Ooh. Every single year. Now, let's go to our last question because we know you got a lot of shit to do on this day. Bruce Brown has one for you.
Yeah, Rap. So yesterday it was reported that Cooper Kupp will be released if they cannot find a trade partner by tomorrow. Is his market already shaping up? Do you have any insight into where Kupp might land? And is the trade dead, or is there still a chance they might pull one off here?
There's a chance they might pull it off. I'd be surprised. So Cooper Kupp broke this news himself during the Super Bowl week. He said basically Rams are going to try to trade me and I'm going to be somewhere else. And like, it's kind of odd because once you do that, it actually becomes much harder to trade. So like, I haven't sensed a ton of, I haven't sensed a big trade market. I know teams talk to the Rams. It's got a big contract, $20 million. It'd have to be, redone. So if it's sort of like, if you're Cooper Kupp, you're not going to get the $20 million anyway. Like, wouldn't you rather be free? Wouldn't you rather? Yes. You're going to get the money's going to be the money anyway. Wouldn't you rather just pick where you go? So that's kind of my sense. I would expect him to be released. Unless he knows where he's going and he set on the money and tells someone, like, give a 7 to the Rams. But, like, I think either way, he'll probably have a new home very quickly.
You talk about wouldn't you rather have a choice? That's like people that are getting drafted in the back half of the 7th round versus being an undrafted free agent. You can kind of pick the situation as opposed to getting drafted to a situation. Cooper Kupp I assume, would have many offers depending upon the price for him to join their wide receiver core. What were you saying, D-Butch?
No, because Rapture said once you put that out, it makes it more difficult to be traded. And then obviously if you have the option as a free agent to pick your next destination, that's what you ideally want. So I'm like, hey, maybe he saw this from a 4D standpoint, and that's why he put it out. But that's interesting. I would love Cooper Kupp on my team. He still got a lot of miles left. And which one of my teams is a great question. I would
all of
Chargers,
them, I think is what he said.
Yeah, because he'll be a great guy not only on the field, but I think in the meeting room. We talk to Puka Nacua all the time, and he just talks about the impact that he had on his career. So I would love him around my young wide receivers and quarterback.
All right, Rap, what's going to break today? Anything we need to keep an eye on, pal?
Hopefully your frequent, regular guest makes the decision. That would be helpful.
Aaron just heard you do that and go, what a sorry, pathetic.
Yeah, looks like I'm waiting.
Yeah, but look, if we're being fair, he probably thinks that anyway.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
It's not like I'm like, breaking any news here. Like, I guess he's there already.
And we're waiting on if Aaron wants to say anything. Our entire lives, just waiting. Aaron going, I just got done watching the dolphins in the ocean. Ian thinks I'm swimming in there. Yeah, right. I just look at that thing. Just got out of a darkness retreat, maybe in the house. Living his best life. Does he want to play ball again? There's a couple places that want him.
Yeah.
Why not go try to win another Super Bowl? Why not, Aaron Rodgers?
Why not?
Why not? All right, we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Senior NFL Insider NFL Network, Ian Rappaport.
Yeah.
Super casual.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just chilling, man.
Opening it up a bit.
He does, too. He keeps literally from TV.
Yep.
Like, we don't get to watch it, but I assume the way it goes, he goes from looking this way in his office to a camera with a suit and tie on, and then to our show, he turns the thing. What's up, boys? Just having a Tuesday.
Hey, guys.
Earpiece out.
Yeah, exactly. Want you to know that this is possible at any given moment. Retweeting, reposting and retweeting breaking news from teams while on air with us. Rapshi, what a lad.
You guys like beers?
I'm so thankful he was able to join us yesterday. Very busy day. Not a lot of people were able to stop by.
Yeah, that was clutch, especially because he was getting everything right, and that was a big part of yesterday.
Speaking of clutch, Rich Paul will be joining us at 1:15 Eastern today, CEO and founder of Clutch Sports, which is an agency and a management group that represents players in every major league at this point. He went from selling jerseys out of his car. Okay, you're talking about one of the greatest American hustlers of all time. Selling jerseys out of his car to now being one of the most influential agents on earth. We are appreciative of Rich Paul. He is a friend of the program. And obviously, Rich Paul reps a lot of people, LeBron James being one of them, Anthony Davis being another one of them. And then you just go through the list of around the NBA of people that he does business for and his agents do business for. It's like, I think we can get a nice clear picture on where the NBA is right now, where the NBA is headed, and what the season looks like. And also, there was a little bit of a dust-up.
Oh, yeah, big time.
A little bit of a dust-up, and that's getting clarified and then reopened and then drop back in it between Stephen A. LeBron James. Rich Paul's name was actually said by Stephen A. Smith in his response on First Take after the LeBron James situation occurs at the Lakers game. So, I'm excited to chat with Rich Paul.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he actually likes our show. So we talk to him as if he's one of us. And, I assume some of the shit's pretty offensive or not supposed to be asked about, but Rich Paul just lets it fly.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like Rich Paul.
Love Rich.
NBA's heating up, too.
What's that?
NBA's heating up, too.
Yeah.
This is kind of where, after free agency, there's this little lull where it's just, pro days, and that's kind of where the NBA takes back over with the NHL.
What an amount of money that you put out there for the 49ers on the way out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an actual gold rush from the San Francisco 49ers at other teams.
Yeah.
And let alone Juszczyk getting cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juice, the 14, 15, 20-time Pro Bowler fullback for the San Francisco 49ers, he's been released by the – this seems to be like an every year thing where it's like, is Juice going to get another deal or an extension, or is he going to be released? Is it going to? It feels like every year this convo happens. So yesterday, when it was reported that he was officially being released, I think I took that as a bit of a surprise because I just assumed he would be in San Francisco forever. Maybe the Niners weren't able to get one of those vests that I got from Mrs. Juszczyk.
Could have been a deal breaker.
Could have been. Maybe John Lynch was like, "Hold the phone. That vest from Super Bowl was sweet. Where's mine? We're out. Limited edition." So maybe that was a part of the entire convo. But with that being said, there's going to be teams that would like Juszczyk on their team.
Oh, yeah.
Dog, beloved, at a position where I know the fullback is technically not a part of every offense yet. We're getting back into
for sure.
We're getting back into pound the ball offense. So I think fullback is now a time to kind of start to blossom yet again. But he also plays tight end. He's an H-back. He does so much with how athletic he is. And he's a super genius. Their entire run game 2 years ago when Christian McCaffrey goes bananas was basically going right off the ass of this guy. We broke it down on In the Trenches with AQ Shipley. And it's like you follow wherever Juszczyk is going. That's where the run game's going. And he's done great things with the Niners. I assume he's going to do great things no matter where he goes, D-Butch.
I'm on that same page. Very versatile. You mentioned it. Very smart. I'm sure when he comes into a building, he'll have some ideas from that 49er run game that he's been a big part of for a long time to bring into whatever building he goes into. But kind of piggybacking on something Rap said with a team like San Fran, like this is your time where you rebuild free agency, the draft, more importantly, because what's going on in San Fran, same thing in Philly. Like you look at the players that they've lost from their Super Bowl run. Like it's so many people that leave every year because we know how bad other teams want to pull from winners. So they just got a John Lynch and Shanahan just got to rebuild once again.
Everybody got paid. Juszczyk's going to get signed. Maybe to the Patriots.
Yeah, don't look now. I mean, that would make a lot of sense, especially in McDaniel's offense kind of coming back. But to the entire thing with the Niners, what was that?
Harvard, right? Didn't he?
Yeah, Harvard guy. He, is from Ohio. Vrabel obviously is an Ohio guy, as we all know.
Wait a minute.
He's very familiar with the area, you could say. And so it would make a lot of sense. He should be a New England Patriot before, the clock strikes midnight tonight. But
wouldn't mind Taxachusetts either. Just came from Taxifornia.
Sure. Well, I mean, it doesn't even matter for him. He runs some hedge fund, I'm sure. He's a Harvard guy.
Yeah, right.
Wherever his money is, it's doing well. We talk about money working for itself. With this, I'm not going to call it a recession, but with that looming
recess,
I doubt. Yeah, I doubt Juszczyk's worried about recess right now because his money is probably somewhere safe in some bank offshore. But that's just because
I don't know.
That's because he's so smart. That's just because he's so smart. That's what smart people do. Allegedly. But this does kind of go to the entire, you can pay everybody, but eventually it is going to come back to kind of get you. And it feels like right now it's getting the Niners. They got to ship Debo out. Obviously, the Ayuk situation's different. He got hurt. That just stinks. Juszczyk is gone. A lot of those guys on defense, Ward, dudes that they would probably like to still have, Dre Greenlaw, but they just can't do it because of the contracts they have. And you wonder with Trent Williams if he's somebody who all of a sudden might be kind of available because he's getting so much money and he's old.
If they trade Trent Williams, I will be mind blown. Laramie Tunsil on the move and Trent Williams on the move when we're getting back to needing an offensive line football.
And Jalen Moore's gone now, so you got to replace the replacement.
So we assume that won't happen, but if it will, I guess
who knows?
Laramie Tunsil just got traded, and the Houston Texans, you thought were going to try to reload on the offensive line and maybe try to make it better after last season. But going back to the Niners, no Juszczyk. If there's no Christian McCaffrey, I think that is just. Remember that got dropped 4 days before the season?
That was nuts.
They're cooked.
Game week.
If there's no Christian, they are cooked.
What was it? Achilles arthritis?
Tendinitis?
Yeah, Achilles tendonitis or arthritis or something.
And it was in one.
And then they said, well, it's actually in both.
And then it started getting the other one. But yeah, exactly.
Anytime I hear that A word that rhymes with chilies, I start to really wonder if everything's okay. That's scary. We've made such great medical advancements on the knee. Like the ACL used to be it. The hip back in the day used to be over. ACL used to be over. Modern medicine has been able to figure out the Achilles. Obviously, Aaron came back and Kirk was able to come back. But that is a sustained, prolonged away time. That takes a lot to kind of come back from on the other side. We hope the medical will be able to get that one a little bit more. But anytime we hear Achilles, and we heard it 4 days before the season started with Christian McCaffrey, it was like, did we know there was any Achilles stuff going on? I guess it was tendonitis. It wasn't a tear. So hopefully they're able to get that to settle down. They said it kept flaring up whenever he'd come back. Is that over and dealt with? We shall see. But that's the story of the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy getting paid. Brock Purdy being Brock Purdy. Okay. Best player on the field whenever he's on the field is Christian McCaffrey. If he can't play, I think they're in some shite yet again. If he can, I think they're in a good spot. It's as easy as that.
Yeah, not having Debo to kind of play that, hybrid running back role too definitely doesn't help them either. But the Achilles too, it's not just like, hey, you recover from it and then the year that you're back, you're back. Like we saw it with Rodgers. It took him
and Kirk.
And Kirk. Kirk, you could argue he never came back. Yeah. And like Rodgers, it took him, 10 weeks you could make the case for him to really feel comfortable again and be able to move around and take all those shots. He still did that early on, but it felt like he wasn't really himself until kind of that point.
Now, those were tears, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
And this is not what Christian had. Christian had tendonitis, but
never heard of this.
Me neither. And we didn't hear of it until 4 days before. And a lot of people who do fantasy football were like, could we have got this news before?
I need my money back.
He was number one in everybody's draft, I guess. That's how late that information came. All right, all eyes are on the Niners. All eyes are on the NFL. All eyes are on hour 2 on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We'll see you in 3.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. It's
Dan. Another farting Dan Orlovsky situation just took place.
Danny Dumps. What do you mean? It's unbelievable.
Your butt is talking, okay?
I did not fart.
Dan. This is 2 times now, Dan. This is the Orlovsky thing.
You guys be serious right now or are you messing with me?
Dan, listen to this clip. This is you just moments ago.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those. Essentially, it's undeniable.
I mean, undeniable.
You guys definitely just freaking idiots.
We swear.
You guys 1,000%.
No, we swear. We swear.
No way.
No one did that, Dan.
Cartoons.
What did you eat?
I haven't even ate.
That was
guys.
Hey, if I were you right now, I'd go grab some dude one.
My wife texted me. She said, "Oh my gosh, McAfee Show, I'm dead." I go, "Babe, I promise you on everything, I did not fart."
Who runs your Twitter account?
AB.
I do.
What's this all about? I would like to know, in that situation where your butthole started talking, what did I do?
I'm here to be serious with you, man.
What are you, chucking a glass of milk, eating some fruit over there, get you some coffee, get that butthole a little bit more active?
I haven't ate. I'm eating yogurt. I have 1,000 text messages right now of people going, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, I just wanted to have like a quiet Tuesday.
I don't even know why we're going to have another hour. Maybe we run that clip.
Yeah. On loop.
We have the video. Shams, let's let you judge here.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's...
I need to hear the context. I want to give our guys...
Shams, shut up! He said it sounded like a fart.
What did AJ vote?
It's a fart all day long, Kurt. You know that.
Has anybody voted no?
Dan.
I'll be the captain of Team No today.
We need you to do a tie-breaking vote. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's...
There's no doubt. I mean, I like how he just kept on going right there.
When he was talking, he didn't even break stride as that thing came out. He went and got the buggy, went to the store, grabbed some dude wipes to wipe those ass cheeks, just like I assume you do as well, Cabal.
You have to go dry, wet, dry. Toilet paper, white toilet paper. If not, you're really risking the rest of the day having the swamp ass. You know, Dan Orlovsky, man, he got to accept that, man. He got to wear that with a pride. One thing that really bothers me when people do not take credit for it. You know, if somebody says, "Oh, that was you that farted," I get upset when it wasn't me. I'm like, no, when have I ever not claimed it when it was mine? You should claim it.
But all those airports, people are traveling today, looking up at the ESPN. Dan Orlovsky farts. What's wrong with this guy?
The closed captioning person, whoever it is, they got it. I believe it said inaudible, muffled, and it said Dan farts, ! I think a couple times.
Hello, beautiful people. I am here to tell you that I have a massive announcement to make about a great time that is on the horizon. A show that is unprecedented, incomparable, a show that has no equal, a big night out. He's coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the PPG Paints Arena on Wednesday, April 9th. There will be massive surprises. There will be big-time sing-alongs, hella laughs, and over $1 million will be given away inside of that arena. Give me a hell yeah! Tickets will go on sale Thursday. It'll cost as little as $20 to get in the door. No ticket will cost more than $100. It's gonna be a night that you remember forever. And you might even see this guy. All right, Cole, get out. And many others. Tickets on sale in a few days. I can't wait to see you at a big night out. Sue us. Don't actually. Shout out Brett Favre. That was for me.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this big off-season Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football is magical and very much alive. We get a chance to talk about it every single day, and we can't thank you enough for being the reason why we do. The Talks table is here, although it looks a little bit different. At Boston Connor, once again wearing his Coach 50 Patriots jersey.
Yeah, I just want to stay locked in. You know, good vibes from me yesterday. Want to keep it going. Obviously, it does say head coach. There was some debate that maybe I put Supreme Commander on it because it is Supreme Commander variable, but we just had to go with head coach because there's not enough letters back there to get them all in. And yes, it is meant to have pads. actually underneath it. That's why it looks so big.
Old school pads. It looks like it's meant to have like the old school.
Exactly. Yeah, the AJ Hawk high school pads.
Yeah, Eddie George. Congrats to him,
George.
Bowling Green, new head coach. For you though, is that 4X? Like, why did you get the 4X?
I do believe this is actually it is a double X, and I got it because first of all I had to have it, and they didn't have any other sizes, and I wasn't going to get the new white or new blue jersey because Vrabel never wore that. He wore the throwback red. So
how do you feel about what the Patriots did yesterday and what Vrabel's vision is?
I feel fantastic.
We're 4 days removed from him at a blackjack table moving all his chips.
Yeah,
and now we're looking at a brand new New England Patriots team. What are your thoughts on the team that they're assembling?
I feel amazing about it. I really do. I feel
spent a lot of money.
They spent a ton of money, $254 million, I think, on their own. That feels great. It feels like with Drake May, they're kind of putting a lot of trust in him. They're bringing in, basically on offense. Strictly Morgan Moses was the lineman they brought in. Mac Hollins on the outside makes sense just because of Josh McDaniels. He played for him when McDaniels was the head coach at Las Vegas, so that is the connection there. A guy that understands McDaniels' offense, which is huge. Help out that receiver room that nobody had played for McDaniels, who is currently there. So that is great news. Really, it feels like the 2021 free agency with the Patriots. You remember after the COVID year in Cam Newton, they went 7-9. I think it was a terrible year in the standard of New England, and then they go out and they spend $150 million on the first day of free agency. That feels like this kind of situation. That year they won 10 games. They went to the playoffs, completely flipped the entire team, and it feels like that's what Vrabel did here.
Great karma, too. We saw Vrabes reading to an elementary school or a boys and girls club up in Boston 2 weeks ago. This morning, he was at an event with Joe Mazzulla, Sam Hauser, and Joe Andruzzi. Granite Saving by Shaving event. It's expected to raise about $3.5 million for Boston's Children's Hospital. He's taking the top off. He's going bold for the city of Boston and for the children there. As is Joe Mazzulla. Can't wait to see his chrome dome walking the sidelines. But this is, it feels like he has very much embraced being back in the New England area, and it feels like New England has embraced him being back in the area.
Yeah, people love Vrabel. Everything that he's about, and it feels like the style of football that people from New England like to watch is kind of that gritty grind and pound, like we're going to punch you in the mouth type of football, and that's what Vrabel brings back to the table, which is massive.
Bruce, you started that, Bruce.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You were half-assing it, though. I don't know if you saw. He's not confident.
He was not confident.
Yeah, not confident.
He's subtle.
He's like, normally I'm in the back. This would be when we would start to do.
I do it every time.
Okay.
One of my favorite things to do in the
You should
back.
have had some confidence there. You should have had some confidence. You should have just started immediately.
All right.
And a southpaw one, I don't think we've ever had
Oh, yeah, I
on
got
the program.
You're right.
That's weird, bro. I don't think we ever had that.
left
So,
hook.
bring it, brother. But you're talking, that is Vrabel football, and that is Patriot fan. They enjoy that style.
Yeah, exactly. It's incredible. And, defense being a good defensive team, that's something everyone's used to, especially from the Belichick era. Started with Vrabel when he was playing, outside linebacker, pass rusher for New England. And the Missoula stuff's cool. Missoula's talked about before, like, hey, the 4 jobs when it comes to professional sports in Boston, like, that needs to be a brotherhood between those 4 guys because it is, it's a sport, it's a professional sports town. There aren't college sports that people care about aside from, maybe hockey, but it really is predominantly professional sports when it comes to New England and Boston.
And I think Joe Mazzulla said it. He said, it is not me. I'm just the keeper of this seat right now. Like, the Celtics are going to live on long after me, and they've been successful long before I got here. I am just the one who has the honor to be currently holding this title. So I think Vrabes also feels like whenever he gave that speech at the Hall of Fame about, hey, hold on to this for dear life.
That's special.
You have no idea what it's like in other places. I'm coaching the Titans right now. Holy shit. Basically what he said.
Yeah.
I was at the Texans. You have no idea what it's like in other places. Didn't say that. Sure sounded like it with the words that came out of his mouth, though, whenever he was talking about how great New England is. Now, I don't necessarily believe that whenever you put somebody else up, you're not putting somebody else down. But with him definitely stating a comp to other places with New England, I feel like he loves that place.
Yes.
I think he has a lot of pride in that place. I think him going back there is a beautiful thing. And you guys spending money on seemingly the right pieces that you would want. And then also plucking Milton out of Carolina when that was allegedly being reported as like, hey, they're finalizing a deal. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, I don't think so, actually. We want you up here, pal. It's like, If I'm a Patriots fan, obviously I'm very excited all the time because of how much we've already won and how many parades we've already had. But at the moment, it feels like a special time almost. I don't know about this year. I mean, who knows? Maybe. But it feels like you guys are going to get back to being able to be the loud, obnoxious, arrogant massholes whenever it comes to NFL conversations again, as opposed to looking forward to the draft, guys, which we're not used to hearing from you all.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why people are so excited, getting back to the more so, hey, let's compete for what really matters here at Lombardi, not the draft. And you mentioned the draft, having that 4th pick is massive. If we get like a Travis Hunter, all of a sudden you do start to believe, holy shit, we could win 11, 12 games. You hope that they can add like a Cooper Kupp or something. But to your point about Milton Williams, insane stat. I had no idea. I just assumed this was fake and something that, somebody made up because of the fact that the Patriots have won 6 Super Bowl's been to 9, 10 of them. Milton Williams just became the highest paid player in New England Patriots history with $26 million a year, which is just insane.
Congratulations to Milton.
Yeah,
they've done a lot up there.
Yeah, we love you, Milton. We love you
more than anybody.
Yeah, truly. If favorite player ever.
If that's how you showcase love, they certainly do. And Bruce Brown obviously sitting in for Ty. Send our love to Ty and his family. Hopefully we see him very, very soon. Bruce, big news this morning that Bailey McComas has illustrated beautifully. Danny Dimes is coming to your city here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And when Indiana Jones arrives, you're going to get a chance to see him play his absolute best ball. Bruce, you've been doing a great job. Just want to let you know that.
Yeah, and important note on Danny Dimes coming to town. No Flip Cup game is safe. He is seasoned in the sport, and he is lethal on the Flip Cup table. We might see him downtown a little bit.
Hey, I'm okay with that. Listen, as long as you're not missing treatment or missing meetings and showing up and working hard, and they can tell how much film you're watching. If they know, all of that stuff. Go flip all the fucking cups you need. If he wants to go old school, listen, if this Duke guy wants to be an old school football player, hell, if he wants to smoke cigs on the sideline, I think he might be okay.
Might loosen him up.
Just work your ass off, bud, is all anybody wants. But you're right. That Eli Manning, Danny Dimes, and the boys Flip Cup video, when they're playing Flip Cup on a round table, I believe.
Yeah.
It was a round table. It's tough to do, obviously, because of the amount of distractions and lack of area. I appreciated him getting down with the boys, having a drink with the boys. And I'm excited to see what he does in an open competition with Anthony Richardson. Good luck to all parties. Shane Steichen has, 2 options at quarterback going in. Now let's go to a team that has no options at quarterback currently. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP Tone. Still no quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but this has been a great free agency, I believe, over the last 48 hours.
For the Steelers, it has, for sure. I mean, getting DK, it didn't matter what else happened after getting DK. We finally got the wide receiver that we have coveted for the last few years. But yeah, now we got to find someone to throw him and George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth and Calvin Austin the football. We're just waiting on a decision from Aaron Rodgers. It feels like Steelers and the Giants are. Feels like it's down to those two now that JJ McCarthy is basically going to be the starter in Minnesota. So if Aaron doesn't come to Pittsburgh, I'm not sure what's going to happen. We'll take Russ and pretend like everything's fine. But
I do appreciate that whenever we talk free agency, you're strictly talking from a one-team perspective. I like that. Yeah, just one. Hey, listen, we need one guy. Hey, Tone, free agency is pretty good. Yeah, it could be. We don't have a quarterback. I love that is how invested you are right now.
That's on me.
No, but I am pumped that is how you feel, because I think all Pittsburgh Steelers fans expect greatness. They expect to win. They have won, not enough. Feels like Pittsburgh is at the point where we want to be able to see a team on the field that can win a Super Bowl. That is what I feel like all Steelers fans want. Yeah, we're going to have a winning season. Yeah, we're going to lose in our first round of the playoffs. And I know there's teams that didn't make the playoffs. So, we're certainly in a better spot than you, but we are sick of knowing that we got no shot of winning the Super Bowl, even though we're going to win too many games to get a pick 20 in the draft. So I think that's where all Steelers fans are, whether it's with Aaron or not. They just want to see a team that can win a Super Bowl.
Yes, 100%. To get over the hump, it's been a long, long time since they won a playoff game. Or, I saw a tweet out there that Aaron Rodgers is either going to get us over that hump, or it's going to be so bad that we are finally going to get, in that top 5 pick range to get our coveted quarterback of the future.
Just so I have this understood, there's people that think Pittsburgh Steelers worse with the addition of DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers to the offense, where it could go so bad that maybe we get a top 5 pick and we keep it moving, strictly because of what happened with Aaron at the Jets this past year, I assume?
Yeah, people on Twitter, yes.
Okay. Well, there's people, not just on Twitter, I assume in real life, that feel that as well.
Because George Pickens doesn't run the red line. So everyone's worried that it'll just spontaneously combust and the offense will blow up.
Yeah, I just, at the end of the season last year, when Aaron was back to moving and it felt like and Aaron probably thought his Achilles was back earlier in the year. I think he probably had to feel that way to go into the season, feel confident. But at the end of the year, they looked like the Jets team that the Jets fans thought they were getting maybe 2 years beforehand. Let's go to 9-year NFL vet, host of Everything DB, Good D, Bad D, Darius J. Butler. Looks super cool today, obviously. Every single day you look cool. Aaron Rodgers, still a guy that can lead a team, especially if you have DK Metcalf, GP, a good offensive line, I think is what people are saying. Maybe,
growing, yes.
Yeah, maybe not great yet, but has a chance to do that. And then a Steelers defense that is always going to be good, we assume, especially if the TJ Watt deal gets done and understood, and they bring in Darius Slade to add to that defensive side of the ball. Special teams going to be good. It's in the AFC North, very difficult. Do you think the Steelers have a chance? Are they one quarterback away from going on a run?
I think Aaron Rodgers gives any team, and definitely the Steelers, a chance to win. I think he definitely still has a lot in the tank. I think he was playing through some other injuries last year that he'll probably, never talk about, like, these OG kind of quarterbacks. It's just kind of how they go about their business. But the thing about it, when you're bringing a OG like this into your building, it does come with other things, not necessarily bad or good, but it just comes with other things. So you have a building like that has the leadership of like a Mike Tomlin. That would be a good building, I think, for Aaron Rodgers to go into. No way if Aaron Rodgers is playing that it's worse, in my opinion, what it was last year or the last couple of years. Now, I thought you were coming from the standpoint of, just not signing a quarterback and saying, fuck it, let's go into the season and go, 2-15.
Well, we do have Skylar Thompson on the roster.
Archie Manning next year.
Oh, okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
He can take snaps.
Yeah, he's been.
Hey, who knows?
He can take snaps.
Give him the opportunity.
Started a playoff game.
What's the deal? He can.
I've seen
him.
I got respect.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him, though. He can.
Started the playoffs.
In the division, though, you got Lamar Jackson, former MVP. Joe Burrow's been in the Super Bowl, could be an MVP.
Pretty good.
And then you got the guy that just won the Super Bowl, kneeled the ball out to win the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wait, where's he?
Okay, yeah. You guys had him, too.
We did.
He had to go elsewhere to go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett's the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns right now.
And there is a chance that happens. And the way I saw him come in and start spinning it, I forget what game it was.
Commies.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett has experienced a lot of things. I assume there's been a perspective change, too, for Kenny Pickett. I think him getting out of Pittsburgh was very good for his psyche, I would assume, especially a guy coming from Jersey, went to college there, had massive success, became the guy there, goes to Pittsburgh Steelers, just the other side of the building, doesn't work out as great. And then Pittsburgh people start saying, like, get this guy the hell out of our town. With everything that he's done at the University of Pittsburgh and wins the ACC championship for Pitt, hasn't happened in a long time. Then he goes to the Steelers, hometown. This is a hometown guy, even though he's not from here. It's a Pitt guy, going to lead this team. Doesn't work out. That's never good. That situation can be obviously pretty heavy. He goes over to Philadelphia, gets a chance to win a Super Bowl, gets a chance to see how they operate and do their thing, experience the highest of highs, and he was the last person to take a snap in this Super Bowl. He's now with the Cleveland Browns. His DTR is traded over to the Philadelphia Eagles. Fascinating. Browns are a fascinating team.
Yeah.
And we will certainly watch how it goes. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, and a Ryder Cup winner, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
Hey.
Hawker, how you doing? Are we growing the whole hair out? Is that what we're doing?
No, I just haven't got it cut in a while. Hopefully, maybe get it cut tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, we're all hoping the same thing on this end as well. We just talked about a lot of things. Don't know where you would like to pick up or chit-chat about. Could be Aaron Rodgers, maybe, leading the Pittsburgh
Yeah, I want to know, what does Pitt do? What does Pittsburgh Steelers, what do they do if they don't sign Aaron? Like, is Russ is just hanging out? Like, okay, what are Russ's other options that he could possibly do?
I don't know. Like, I wonder if the Giants are having the same combos. Like, I wonder if it's here we go. One of you is going here. One of you is going to the other place. And if it is Russ at the Giants, you can see him mentoring somebody for a year.
Certainly.
I mean, everything that we're talking about with Aaron going to the New York Giants, Russell Wilson can still spin it. Russell Wilson has had a lot of experience, a lot of success. Russell Wilson can hopefully showcase exactly what it is to be a professional as long as somebody's willing to kind of accept it and learn about it. Just like Aaron would be the same exact situation. So I would assume, and I don't know how often it's been reported, I would assume they're talking to both guys, both teams.
Yeah, seen Tennessee as well for Russ.
Oh, yeah.
That has been floated out there recently with him possibly going there to do that for Levis, too.
Sierra back in Nashville?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Country album on the way.
Come on. Cut your teeth in Nashville.
Yeah. Smart.
In the country music world. We would assume that's what's going on with Russ. And I would say this, after having Russ on our program, I enjoyed my conversation with him a lot. I hope he has massive success. Now, it did feel like Steelers fans did not want him back in Pittsburgh. Is that an accurate depiction?
It didn't end great.
Okay. It only ended great for one team, right?
Well,
even the other team.
It ended worse than a lot of teams. I think we lost like 5 or 6 straight.
Yeah, it got real ugly late.
However it happened.
Which happened to Philadelphia Eagles the year before, and then obviously they make some change, and then they go and win a Super Bowl.
So
I mean, there's a chance. Yeah, but that would be with Russ as the quarterback.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the blueprint's out there.
You guys lost Naj.
Naj just signs with the Chargers. Congratulations to Naj. Getting some money to join Jim Harbaugh's team. You know, Jim Harbaugh, Ortiz football.
Oh, yeah.
Is we need to run it. Naj can certainly pound it. I mean, he ran better this year, I feel like, than ever before. I don't know if there was like the moment that Eddie George had with Derrick Henry. Remember, at the beginning of Derrick Henry's career with the Tennessee Titans, he was not the current Derrick Henry that we know. He had to evolve, he had to change, he had to get better because in high school, Derrick Henry was obviously bigger, stronger, faster than everybody, so he could get the edge and he could power you and stiff arm you. College, he was the same damn thing. Then he gets the NFL, and although he is bigger, stronger, faster than everybody, there's a lot bigger guys. So I think he was a little bit more of a finesse runner than a power runner at the beginning. He thought he could get the edge, and everybody saw the same thing. It's like, dude, you are 265 pounds. Just run some people over. Allegedly, Eddie George had a conversation with Derrick Henry. Eddie George, former Tennessee Titan great, now Bowling Green head coach, former Ohio State legend. I still remember his big ass in that gray jersey on TV with those huge helmets, huge shoulder pads, and he is a mountain of a man. Allegedly, he talked to Derrick Henry a little bit one offseason, was like, hey, I think you're missing this in your game. That changed Derrick Henry's career. I mean, completely. He became the most dominant running back in the league quickly. The Tennessee Titans had massive, massive success, and then he would go on to the Baltimore Ravens and transform that offense, which was already incredible. He's there yet again, and their season didn't end how they wanted. Najee Harris seemingly ran his best this last season. I don't know if there was a conversation that somebody had with him, like, hey, it's you can run like a running back that is your size. Like, you're allowed to be a physical guy. You can be a physical guy. I don't think Pittsburgh Steelers fans notoriously were like, yeah, get Naj back here to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. But I think all Pittsburgh Steelers fans have a respect that Naj played his best ball this last season.
Yeah, and respect, he was there for 4 years, and he played 17 games every single year for 4 years. So his best ability is availability. He was there every single year, rushed for 1,000 yards every single year. Also for Naj, like 3 of those 4 years was a very, very much rebuilding offensive line. Like it didn't run behind the best offensive line. Also not with the best offensive coordinator for a lot of time. There was a lot of shotgun, sidecar. That's just not who Naj is. I'm excited to see what he does with the Chargers in that offense.
Yeah, and Harbaugh is going to have a plan. I mean, and I assume we know what it's going to look like. And the Chargers, hey, every time the Chargers do something, I'm like, yep, they got it right. Naj signs somewhere else. I'm like, I don't know if that's it. Goes to Chargers. I'm like, Harbaugh, figure it out.
Awesome.
That dude wins, man. He just wins.
Yeah.
And the whole culture is bought in over there. You've been a believer for a long time. I'm not saying does Naj put him over the hump. What else are you looking for this Chargers team? Why not?
Yes, got to get a dynamic playmaker on the outside. Maybe 2. I love Ladd and what he does, and I think he'll only get better going forward, but I think you need a guy that can take the top off of a defense that causes matchup issues for defenses and secondaries. Just changes the math altogether on the outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's pivot away from the NFL and the free agency frenzy. AJ Hawk. Let's go to the association, the NBA. And let's talk to a man who is maybe the greatest hustler in America's history, okay? Started out selling jerseys out of the backseat of his car. Now, he's the most influential agent in the NBA, and he's the founder and CEO of an agency that represents players, most of them the highest paid at every single position, across all major sports leagues in the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich Paul.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Thanks, Pat. Hustler turned board member.
Okay, hustler to board member. What a story. And
yeah.
You have
what a story, right?
Hold on. You do have the book. Yeah. Bang! Lucky me. The story of a hustler to a board member of Rich Paul, founder of Clutch Sports. Hey, that's a sweet hat. Is that the Clutch? Is that the K logo there?
This is Clutch Athletics, not Clutch Sports. This is Clutch Athletics. Totally separate. I'll send you guys stuff.
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
My partnership with New Balance. They sold out on lids. They went on lids.com. We sold out pretty quick, but they're restoring. So you can find them at your local lids or at clutch.com.
Okay, so Clutch Sports is the agency and management. Clutch Athletics
there you go.
is the apparel brand that you partnered up with New Balance.
Yes. Yeah.
What a
So we can sign Pat McAfee if we want to.
Yeah, you could. We'll see. I'm also said hustler to board member, and we can have a good negotiation. I'll say the logo looks sweet. I'll say the hat looks awesome, and all the jumpsuits I went through your website the other night look good. Feels like you're murdering life, Rich, and we would like to say congrats. Now, let's get into some ball. Let's get into some ball, shall we? Your name, obviously, was said by Stephen A. in his apology or his explanation of the situation with LeBron James. In the NBA, it feels like players, media, fans, much more intertwined because of the proximity of the fans and everything to the sport, for the lack of the helmet, and also the coverage is only on a few people. How do you feel about the situation between LeBron and Stephen A? And how often has this thing happened over the past that maybe has been diffused? Like how many different situations with NBA players wanting to say something to somebody that said something out of pocket has been diffused that we never hear about?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was much, but I think that, as adults, you try to handle things the best way possible. And so I was glad they were able to move on. But, it's tough. Anytime you have media platforms, and there's so many today, and these guys, as much as critique, sometimes the critique could be felt as if it's a little bit more than that. And so there's a balance there to try to maintain. And so, for me, I just try to focus on the business of it and keep the personal stuff away. But sometimes you have those things, but we moved on, and it was a dust up, and we moved on. So
happy to hear that. And I think what we've seen over the last couple of weeks here, at the NBA All-Star Game, I think I talked to you around there with what hockey did with the Four Nations and how the different directions it kind of went with the conversations. I was legitimately worried about the NBA. I'm like, I don't know how they get out of this. It feels like people have turned. Over the last few weeks, it feels like players have defended themselves a little bit more. Feels like players have talked a little bit more. And I think with that massive trade of Luka to LA, feels like there's been a lot more interest in the NBA and conversation and chatter. Do you agree with that? Feels like the NBA has kind of kind of the course of everything and how it was going.
Yeah, but I would have liked to see some people on the platforms that they lead protect the NBA a little bit more. Having guys come on platforms and speak about the NBA as if they know enough about the NBA and critique in a way in which was a little bit misleading for the viewership. I was a little disappointed in that. These guys, they play a lot of basketball. They obviously try their best, and there's no question. I've spoken to Adam a number of times, and there's no doubt he's trying to do his best to turn the All-Star Weekend around. But I just thought that what came out of that was a little bit misleading, especially for those that don't play this game. But I agree with you. There is some excitement around the game. Obviously, trades and things like that shakes things up and gets people interested. I think that's a bigger thing to pay attention to, as well as free agency. Those are really big platforms for our sport. Look, the game is great. And I think that when you speak about the game, it's great to critique it, but you also have to give it its flowers. It's changed a lot of lives, including mine and so many others. And so we're appreciative of that.
Yeah, and the level of play right now is absurd. I mean, it's absolutely insane, the amount of talent. We've watched these old documentaries, and I don't want to speak for current basketball players, but my take, legitimately, I think for the last 5 years, since we've been doing this entire conversation, and as you know, sports media for a while is MJ or LeBron the greatest of all time? That was like years of conversation, years of conversation.
Currently.
I guess it's still happening. Yeah, I guess it's still bringing it in the entire conversation.
The tiring conversation.
Yes, certainly. But I'm not a big basketball guy, so I was always like confused because I watched The Last Dance and I watched some of these other documentaries. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I didn't grow up in like a basketball or NBA town. When I watched basketball back then versus basketball now, we're talking about two different sports. It is a very same game, obviously, same concepts, but the way it's being played is so vastly different. And it's like, what's happening now? You got guys like when Jordan and shit. Okay, so I am a fan of this entire thing. When he dunked from the foul line, from my understanding, place went crazy. Holy shit. Yeah. This guy dunked from the foul line. You got guys that might be able to dunk from a high school three-point line coming up here in like a year and a half. Exactly. So it's just a different game.
It's like it's like the black and white TV and like the iPhone. The evolution of it is what it is, and I think that for those that have the platforms to talk about the sport, they're going to always lean and be biased towards when they played and or the previous years, but it's supposed to get better. Just like anything in life, when you look at the cars, the Model T today is now we have electric cars, or the Model T of yesterday, today we have electric cars. It used to be horseback riding. Everything is different, Walkmans to iPods to now we have iTunes. Everything is different, right? Taxis to Ubers. There's an evolution, right? And so we have to allow that to be the same in our sport, and not just try to judge these guys and have them chase goats all the time. We have great players in the league, as you can see. Look at the Cavs. Look at what Boston's been able to maintain to do. Look at OKC and what Shea is doing leading that team. Jokic is, phenomenal. Giannis, and the list goes on and on and on. And that's just to name a few. In addition to the guys that we already know, the older guys that's has some consistency there, and so you hate to hear it, but they get paid the big bucks to talk about it. It's not all true. This idea that these guys couldn't play in the 80s and 90s, that's false. You just go back and watch when some of those guys that played in the 90s were still there in the early 2000s when guys like LJ and others came in. They were stuck in the mud on defense. They couldn't defend them. You had guys, no one that ever had to face a team that was all 5 positions. A guy was 6'7" and above with the ability to dribble, pass, and shoot.
Yeah,
that
but Kuzi, dude.
Whoa.
Kuzi.
No disrespect. No. Listen, one thing about me, I'm a historian of the game. I respect all those that came before, but you got to allow the guys that tell the truth while doing it. Guys like Isaiah Thomas.
Kuzi
was great. Kuzi was great for his time.
Invented it.
Kuzi was great for his time. Pistol Pete was great for his time. But, what would Kyrie Irving do in that time?
Jeez,
that would have been so much fun to watch.
By the way, they didn't even make the shoes to be able to handle the style of play for a guy like Kyrie.
They would have been.
They didn't have the shoes from the play in, let alone. So we want to be respectful to the ones that come before, but we have to give the flowers to these guys today. We have just see what Ja did the other day.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Come on, man, like you can't.
And being good whenever Ja's playing. Ja is
always
a lightning rod whenever it comes to playing basketball. And obviously, we watched him hopefully mature in front of us in real time in the spotlight. But whenever he's on the court, it's electrifying. He'll double pump that thing. I'm not dunking anymore. He said, then 2 days later, he did a double pump baseline on a guy's head. And it's like, this dude is maybe one of the shortest guys in the league, but instead he has the most confidence and ability to fly. Yeah, we agree. We're on your side in this entire thing. And also, this does not mean that Michael Jordan couldn't play in today's game. Michael Jordan could play any sport that he wanted to play in any era. So that's how I feel. Now, let's talk about the current game. Number one headline in the NBA right now in the talking point. Obviously, SGA is a guy. Cavs is the thing. Celtics are doing it. LeBron James hurts his groin whenever the Lakers are playing their absolute best basketball, with him and Luka seemingly starting to gel perfectly, and JJ Redick seemingly putting together the perfect starting 5 with a bench that is loaded. Now, is that all put on hold for 1 to 2 weeks with a groin strain? What do you think this kind of ends up being for LeBron? And long term, how much does this slow down the development of the Lakers this season, do you think? Rich?
Well, I think you have to manage it. Obviously, you see the reports that's out there, and you were able to pay attention to LeBron in terms of his post-game interview. He knows his body better than anybody, so we kind of have to follow him there. But look, he played a lot of basketball. All these guys, we forget the Olympics, they played across our league. So there's been a lot of basketball played for the older guys. When you have this type of injury, you have to manage it properly. Unfortunately, AD had the same thing, a little bit different, and he even mentioned that, as soon as he did it, that's the first thing he thought about, or the second thing he thought about was that. So you have to manage it with grace. Obviously, the Lakers had a tough schedule coming up. I think they got 6 games in 8 nights or something like that, and they play some pretty top-heavy teams. They got the number 6 schedule, most difficult schedule to finish the season out. It's tough. Look, they have a lot of work to do regardless whether he was there or not in terms of just with the roster. But those guys have been playing unbelievable game of basketball, and JJ has those guys prepared. They lost the other night by not being prepared. I didn't think they executed well on either side of the floor, and they were able to. They were not able to beat the Nets last night, but that comes from I think in some cases not respecting your opponent. There's still the NBA, and anybody can beat you on any given night. So, but you got to handle it with grace. And so I won't put a timetable on it. I'll let LeBron decide what's to be done there. He has a great trainer and medical staff with the Lakers, and Mike Mancini leads that for him. And so, I'll just be lockstep with those guys.
Okay, so LeBron and LeGroin, we're pulling for the quick, speedy recovery because LeBroncic was a fun era to watch. And last question for me on that before the boys have some, Rich. How does, because the thought is, will LeBron be able to play with a guy who is so ball dominant like Luka? And obviously Kyrie, point guard, he and Kyrie are able to have massive amount of success. But would LeBron be able to handle playing alongside a guy like Luka? It looked like it was working out perfectly. Why do you think that is the case? Why do you think LeBron and Luka were a good mix early on and starting to have success almost immediately?
Well, I think whether it's LeBron and Luka or anybody else, I think it's just when you have high IQ, you're able to adjust. And, in terms of being able to take somebody off the ball that's used to being on the ball, if they have an understanding of when to cut, when to seal, when to set a screen, how to come out of those screens, have the ability to catch and shoot. And now you turn a guy like LeBron into your secondary playmaker. That's pretty tough for anybody. I think any coach, anybody that's knowledgeable of the game would say, that's a pretty tough thing because now, you got one of the best playmakers ever, if not the best, becoming your secondary playmaker. That's just tough to defend. So, again, I don't get into all the experts, but, I know the game enough to know that when you have a great IQ and you have great habits and you understand how to play the game for others, you can make anything work.
JJ seemingly a good coach, too. I mean, that was obviously a question early, and we have heard stories about how competitive he is, and he told us a story one time whenever he was at Duke. He was back at his girlfriend's house at a different state. I forget what state it was, maybe Iowa or something like that, Wisconsin, and he was working out at a local gym, and some kid talked shit on him and didn't know who he was. And he said he beat him 11-0, then he played again 11-0, 11-0, 11-0, 11-0. Like, J.J. Redick is like an absurd competitive human being, like everybody is at the top. So whenever I heard he wanted to get into coaching, I assumed he would have the work ethic to do as such, but would he have the players' respect? Would he have the ability? Obviously he does. Is that normal that a guy is just able to pick up coaching like this? We saw Missoula obviously get dropped in as a young lad, but he coached in college and kind of worked his way up.
Yeah, but when you look at Missoula, when you look at JJ, when you look at, when you demand effort and energy, when players look at your habits as well, they look at how you prepare, and you demand that respect right away. And so I think one of the best things JJ did right away was he kind of wedged himself in between two ex-head coaches and Scotty and Nate McMillan. And so that's him having an understanding and a wherewithal of the position he was in as a first-time head coach. And so, you don't always have to do that, but it's good to have that around you. T. Lue did it as well with Coach Drew. And so, it's no doubt that he could be successful. And the success isn't always in the win and loss column. It's about really just how you're developing these guys, how you're preparing, coming out of timeouts and things of that nature, in-game adjustments and stuff like that. And so he's been able to have some success there. I know he's not satisfied knowing him. And when you see those young coaches like that, whether it's in OKC and in Boston, even down the job that Mitch is doing down in San Antonio with all the injuries and things like that, when you watch those guys play, even Jordy, even with the Nets, when you watch these guys play, those kids are playing hard. The young men are playing hard every night. And they're in the game. They're coming out of timeouts. They're executing properly. And sometimes talent just beats you. But in these cases, you're trying to watch the habits of guys and see which guys you can keep and which areas you need to replace. And so, he's doing a great job as well as others around the league.
Guys are smacking the wood for these guys.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we like that. No free buckets over here, Rich. Okay? No free buckets over here. I like everything about it. And JJ just, at the press conferences, speaks his mind. On the sideline, speaks his mind. Mm-hmm. I like how he is just assume the role. Like, you are head coach,
Yeah.
this is how you go. Obviously, had Coach K. He had plenty of great coaches that he's been able to learn from. You talk about the head coaches he has on staff. We're happy for JJ because he was great on TV, too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Great on TV and doing a great job as a head coach. D-Bud has a question for you, Rich.
Yeah, Rich, you've been in the business a long time, so it seems like, you know, the bigger markets are kind of always going to dominate, what's talked about on TV. But how do you feel about the overall coverage, especially this year in the NBA with the Cavs pretty much dominant and then OKC dominating on the other side and being in smaller markets?
Yeah, I think, look, OKC and the Cavs are doing an unbelievable job. There's some of the best basketball to watch. It's fun to watch. Guys are spraying the ball around, having fun, rooting for each other. I think the camaraderie they have amongst the teammates is incredible. We watch it every night. I don't miss many games. And so that backcourt and even the bigs that the Cavs have, but Darius and Donovan has really been leading that charge there, the surgence of a guy like Evan Mobley and how he's just grown his game, which was no surprise to me, honestly. And then when you talk about just guys like Jared Allen, who's able to be a pro and take a step back and allow his teammates to have the success and him rooting them on as well. He probably should have 4 All-Stars this year. They went and added DeAndre Hunter, who was big for that team, and then the work that Ty Jerome and just all those guys do night in and night out. They haven't played their best basketball over the last 6-7 games, and yet and still they've been able to come out with the win on a 14-game winning streak. So that's been incredible. When you look at OKC, again, led by Shea, who's probably going to be the MVP, is right there with him and Jokic. But I would love to see him win it this year after not winning it last year. But again, any given night, they set their whole starters the other night, still came out with the win. I think Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, the big, had a triple-double. And, you just see selfless basketball with those guys. And it's not necessarily about the name on the back of the jersey. They're really doing it for the name on the front. And when you run an organization like Presti and the job that Kobe Altman and those guys are doing, this is what you want to see. At the same time, we still got to have a balance. You still want the big markets to do well, the New Yorks. Obviously, Chicago's not where you would want it to be, but the LAs and then Steph is Steph in that market. And so it's been a good year for the league. I pay attention to all, not just, my guys, the guys I represent or the stat sheets every night, but the business and how, because we all benefit from it. And so I think it's important to care about it enough. And the parity in the league is great. And again, we can't forget about Boston. They are doing an unbelievable job of leading as defending champs. They're still a team that obviously, in everyone's opinion, are probably the favorites to beat until somebody actually beat them. They've earned that right. And so it's great, man. It's great. It's great basketball. But the real season is in a couple weeks or a month and a half, I must say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Rich, what do you think the game looks like over the next 3, 4, 5 years? Like, coming from a football background, a lot of us on this show, like football, it continues to evolve, but also we see a lot of old school things that continue to come back. In basketball, we have so many young studs all over the world, not just America. Like, how does the game look over the next 3, 4, 5 years? Do you think it changes drastically, like little things here or there? What's your thoughts?
That depends on the players. Look, I think when you get paid a lot of money, that can't be the end-all, be-all. I think the care for the game, your approach, your professionalism, how you conduct yourself matters. The things within the game and the integrity that you carry matters. And so the league can be whatever the players want it to be. I think the league has to be looked at as a partner. It can't just be looked at as a bank. And I've said that before several times. And I also say that to my guys. There's a responsibility and accountability that comes with being a professional athlete. It's even a higher level of that comes with being a star or a budding star or one of the legendary guys in the league. And I know we had that face of the league conversation, and I don't think there's going to be a next quote unquote face of the league. I think there'll be a community, just like it was when Jordan left in '98. It became a community, and so I think we should embrace that. It's not so naming somebody. If it becomes one face, then that's because that person earned it. But I think it comes in. It's multi-faceted, and so. But I look forward to it. I'm really just enjoying a lot of these guys, and I'm glad they're getting their flowers. But I do want them to remember there is a responsibility Some days you have to play hurt. Some days you have to, everyone's not 100% when you get to this part of the season. And so, but, I think the league is in a good spot. Obviously, they got the TV deal done. And I think there's some things we could improve on, like everything else in life. None of us are perfect. We're all in the construction. So it's just a matter of how we want to improve. And so, we'll see. But I'll do my part for sure, whether it's for my clients or whatever Adam, leans on my, not necessarily advice, but any type of opinion that I may have or whatnot. I'm a creative at heart. And so at the end of the day, I'm always thinking the next thing and how to evolve and how to better position ourselves.
Okay, so I love to hear that, by the way. And the line about using the league not as a bank is one that is, awesome to hear, because I think that's a great way to describe potentially not just NBA. It happens in all sports, not just the NBA, big-time professions. I think the way you talk about the league is coming from a guy who obviously cares about it a lot, wants it to have success. And I think after our first convos with you, I don't think a lot of people fully understand about you. The way you talk to your clients, like, hey, we got to do this. We got to play a little bit injured. Like, I don't think that is the normal first thought about NBA players as a whole or about you. Because all it is Rich Paul runs the NBA. Rich Paul has this. Rich Paul has that.
And that's not true. You know that. I mean, look, I'm not a tiptoe agent. I'm not a stat sheet agent. That's not what I do. I think it's important to educate these guys and hold them accountable and responsible for their actions. And they do the same for you. Oftentimes, if you're in my position, you try to create this yes environment so you can keep a client. That's not the type of business I built, and that's not the type of business I lead. Today is AD's birthday, by the way, so we should say happy birthday to AD.
Godspeed. Godspeed. Wherever you end up, maybe Rich knows, actually. Wherever you end up, or however this all goes, happy birthday and Godspeed.
No, he's in Dallas. He'll be fine. He's embracing it. Again, he had that injury as well. And, it's unfortunate Kyrie went down, but he's progressing properly, and we'll see where it leads. One thing about AD, he loves to play the game. He wants to play the game. And so as we see the first two quarters that he had against Houston, when he first got to Dallas, was what that could look like. And so that excitement was there. And unfortunately, he went down with an injury, but he's progressing properly. So we'll see. I'll be able to get next to him at some point and see how he's feeling. But we're keeping an open mind about everything. But yeah, it's one of those things where, if you want something to be in a great position, then you have to really, handle it with care. Yeah. Just like you do anything else.
The grass is greenest where you water it. That's what they say. Like the grass is greener. The grass is greener. Well, it's greener wherever you want it to be. Like that is the answer. And hopefully the NBA continues to be a league that is led by folks like you behind the scenes that love it and want the water to be, or the green. You get it.
It's not a bully thing, though, Pat. You know that. We talk about it a lot. It's not a bully thing for me.
Yeah, of course.
It's an insightful thing. I know everything about the league and the ins and outs of it, the business around it, and things of that nature. And so, but this also is my 24th year around it. It's my 24th season.
Wow, you look like you're 25.
Yeah, it's not like people think like, he just got in, or obviously the LeBron opportunity. But it's going on my 13th season. On my own as leading the agency, and then my 24th season. But AJ, while I got you, we had a clutch football, had a great day yesterday. Between Garrett and Bynum and Chase and Milton Williams and Byron Murphy, we had a great. I'm happy for my leadership group over there, our agents, and obviously Zeke and Bilbo and Rick Roberts, Kelvin Crenshaw, and then obviously Nicole and the job that they're doing. And so. The football group.
What's going on? What's going on?
You're taking over the NFL too now?
Well, we're not trying to take it over. We just want to be able to exist within, and represent the guys we represent, and be able to represent guys like you had, like yourself, AJ, and others. And so, we're young in the business, but we've been impactful throughout the years. And I think this year we had 28 people invited to the combine. We should have the first 2 rounds or 3 rounds of the draft. We should be pretty heavily slotted there to have some impact there. And, we're just trying to continue to grow, but we got a good group. We got all two, from Jaden and Devontae and a lot of the guys we have in the Eagles, Milton, winning the Super Bowl, now to the draft combine, 28 people invited, and then also now free agency. So it's been great. It's been great. I'm excited, man. This is I never thought we would be in this position when we started the company in 2012, but it's been great. It's been great. I'm really appreciative. You know, we can't be us without the clients allowing us the opportunity, and so we're always thankful for that.
Yeah, I'm Rich Paul, and I'm just here to just kind of be a part. You know, that is that's all. Just thankful and lucky to be here. You know, we had 3 guys on Super Bowl, and obviously reset the market whenever they were signing. Just signed the biggest contract in the history of the New England Patriots. Myles Garrett, I don't know if you heard this. He's getting quarterback money now. He's defensive end. So we're just we're just trying to get into the NFL. It's a great league.
It's a team effort, you know.
Yeah, of
Dahn
course.
and DJ really backed our agents, and we was able to come through for a lot of the guys. And I know the Myles Garrett thing. I was glad that we were able to turn that around. The coach did a great job leading that group there, and you know, Jimmy and Andrew Berry. I was glad, you know, we was able to turn that around. You know, I'm from Cleveland. Obviously, I'm a Browns fan, a huge Browns fan. Jimmy and I, you know, talk pretty often, and Andrew is someone that you know, we represent. So it's always, that's a little difficult, but I was able to. I'm glad we were able to come around, and you know, Myles deserves it, man. He really deserves it. He's the ultimate professional. There's nothing wrong with a guy wanting to win, but like you said, the grass ain't always greener, and so I'm glad he was able to stick around.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're about to run the NFL. Like, this is about to happen. Yeah. Like, this feels like as you start rattling off names and situations. You know, I'm from Cleveland. Talked to Haslam a little bit. He was part of the deal. Andrew Berry, great guy. I love everything about it. How many different ownership groups, you know, is Clutch Sports potentially in, I would assume? Oh, my God.
Now it's becoming so you know, so much synergy between, you know, owners being a part of the NFL and the NBA. And so it's kind of like a one-stop shop, pretty much.
And NIL?
You get one, you get all.
Are you doing NIL stuff too, or no?
Yeah, we're doing NIL. We approach it a little bit different. You know, we don't try to crowd the space with it. We do have a lot more on the basketball side because you got to get in so early. But the NIL piece, we really focus on development. From an NFL and collegiate NIL perspective on the football side, we're just now starting to really get some bearings around it and figure out how we want to approach it, what the strategy around it is. I think NIL can be misleading for a lot of these young men and their families. They make it a cash grab, which I think is the beginning of developing a bad habit and not valuing expertise. And so we want to handle that with care. It's a very slippery slope, NIL is. I'm happy for the kids getting the money, but, you know, we got to get it the right way. And so, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I got some ideas.
Good luck. Yeah, I'm sure you fucking do, Rich. I'm sure you do. Can't wait to watch it all unfold. Let's get back to the NBA now. Boston Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Rich, you should tell Mel Williams we love him already in New England. He's going to be a superstar no matter what.
Let's go.
He's one of our favorite players already. But with the New England area, obviously the Boston Celtics are a massive part of the sports culture. And, you know, we asked Tyrese Halliburton about this, kind of just the discourse around Jason Tatum. Obviously, people don't really like him, and he went to Duke, and, you know, the Celtics aren't a team that many people like, but it seems like every other night someone is saying something, you know, derogatory about Jason Tatum. On Saturday night, you know, obviously he elbowed LeBron pretty bad, almost broke his jaw, but more so people were kind of pointing at, you know, wow, Jason Tatum played 42 minutes. This guy, you know, this is their game 7, where those same people who are saying that are, you know, bitching and moaning about guys not playing every night. So you really just can't win, it feels like, with Tatum. You mentioned, you know, being in the league and being involved in the league for 24 years. Why do you think a player like Tatum kind of gets this much flack, you know, publicly from people when they're talking about him, especially when, you know, the records that he's set in before turning the age of 27 predominantly were records that only, you know, LeBron was involved in? Because
he's drama-free. You know, I think people like drama, obviously, and he's drama-free. He plays the game the right way, and he's a dream client. You know, I know Jason Tatum. I know him very well, and so, you know, it's hard to appease everybody. But if I was coaching Jason Tatum, I'd play him 48 minutes. He's just that good. So, you know, this idea of, you know, people not liking Jason Tatum because he's so accomplished and he goes to work and go home. to me, that sounds like the perfect client. You know.
Yeah, I can imagine.
To me.
And Boston's thinking the same exact thing.
Oh yeah, we love
this guy.
Yeah, we all think he's the face of the league. But
you watch the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of them. Look, he's won. He's been to multiple, Eastern Conference championships. He's Olympic gold medalist.
Wow.
There's not, he's a perennial All-Star. He's a perennial All NBA guy. You again, people are going to have things to say about you no matter how accomplished you may be. But I tell you one thing, in any part of our business, if you can have a Jason Tatum, you want a Jason Tatum. Yeah. You want to coach him. You want him on your team. You want him as a client if you're in my position. If you're a brand, you want to associate yourself with him. So there's so many. So, again, I don't understand what goes through the mindset of people, but we see all these platforms and we know what gets to clicks. We know what gets to aggregations and things like that. People love drama and so they're attracted to that. I'm personally not attracted to that. I'm actually a vegan when it comes to that type of stuff. So
no beef. Yeah. We don't want any beef, brother.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Yeah. But it's all good.
Tatum, we watched that. What I was gonna say is we watched that docuseries. And it's like the big takeaway is this guy's boring. This guy's a nerd. Yeah. This guy's boring nerd. And you talked about the clicks, and then you mentioned another word. The aggregators is where the world is now. The people that are aggregating news, and they have a lot of big platform, and I guess we could be considered an aggregator of sorts, but there's people that, take things, put them out of context, and then they're seen by a lot of people, and then that's the story. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, even if it's nowhere near true. It's like there's some truth to it, but the way it is delivered completely different in how people read it in the context. It's like that's a real part of our society now. That is, I'm on the receiving end of it a lot. I read it.
Yeah, I think we all are, Pat.
Yeah,
we're all on the receiving end of it, and that's part of it. And so, again, look, we can't expect everyone to be like somebody else, right? There's a lot of things that God give these guys, but He can't give them everything. So, at the end of the day, Jason Tatum, whether you think he's not exciting or not, great. Then don't buy into his excitement. Buy into somebody else's excitement and buy into the things that he actually does well. That's how I look at it.
Hell yeah.
Don't look for him for excitement.
Consummate optimist, Rich Paul. We're wrapping up here on ESPN. We'll continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. This is Rich Paul, founder and CEO of Clutch Sports. Conversation with him continues for a few more moments, and then we'll wrap up today's stories in the next hour. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Rich, you've done a really good job here. You've done really good. Mm-hmm. We'll continue on digital. Goodbye. Went for it too early. Yeah. Had 8 seconds. Had to fill there at the end. We're off of TV. We are now just on digital. Last question for me, Rich, and we can't thank you enough for joining us. Well, I guess I have two. Will we see you next week? And have you wrote any new songs for Adele? I know you said that has been a thing.
No songs. And then let's see what happens next week. Yeah, I would love to come on and talk the game. I love to talk the game. And so if we can make it work with I know sometimes things pop up, impromptu for you guys, and so just let me know.
That was
I love the show. I love hanging out with you guys, talking the game. I don't want to just talk about my clients. I love to talk about the game, and so this is fun for me.
Okay, well,
I like these reps.
We appreciate you, and we like you. We think you are a great American dream story, and obviously, boom, is a wonderful tale for anybody. And we would love to chat with you. And what he was talking about with the impromptu thing is we're supposed to have him on last week. I completely forgot. And then, I had to send him a text. This guy's super businessman. He's got agencies all over the place to be like, hey, Rich, I forgot. That's just 100% on me.
It's okay.
I do apologize.
I don't take none of it personal. Don't worry about that. I'll make sure to get you guys out some gear, some hats.
Yes.
And, please support Clutch.com, man. We think we got a real opportunity in this sportswear brand space. And, I'm excited about it. Okay, got some cool things coming up, Pat. Some cool things coming up.
Happy to hear that. I assume you're going to have cool things coming up forever because just the way your mind works. And we will buy this shit so we support the biz, brother. We don't need you to send any.
I appreciate that.
We will support the biz. If you want to send some hats now.
I need one of those fucking hats.
Yeah, I'll send some hats. You guys support. You got nephews, you got nieces, you got birthday presents and graduations. You got all those different things. So it's all good. I appreciate it.
All right. We're proud of you, brother. We don't know you as well as maybe others. Incredibly proud of you, and thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Clutch Sports and Clutch Athletics, Rich Paul.
Yeah, Rich.
Yeah, we're just trying to, fit in.
Just be a part. Just be a small part.
Yeah, good for you.
Miles Garrett, Nicole Lynn.
Jeez.
$40 million a year.
Yeah.
Max Crosby just got $35.5 million. Oh, that's cute. Yeah. I know what the market's saying. We're just telling you what it's going to take. And that when you get to that point of negotiation, that's the best. And we've obviously been at every stage of this business from, hey, here's a link. Let's count how many people you actually have watching the show to get into business with people and paying you per usage of your link, which is the very beginning of the digital marketing world, into maybe a little bit bigger deal with more comps and reads, into, hey, this is what you have to read, this is what you have to do this many times whenever you do this, to now where we're at. It's great to be at this spot. It is really good to be at this position of business, which it feels like Rich Paul is all the time whenever he gets into the business. I know what you're saying. I'm just telling you what it's going to take. Like this is what it's going to take. This is just what it is. So we happen to know the numbers as well, and this is the number. Well, that doesn't make any sense for it. Okay, don't have to do it. Once again, this is completely okay. We're just letting you know that this is what it's going to take. And for Myles Garrett, getting that deal, going back to Cleveland, I hope they do have success. Genuinely. I hope they do have success. And I don't know how, okay? I don't know if they are set up to in any fashion with that quarterback deal that they signed just a few years ago, eating up the market. And now with this deal, obviously being as big as it is, even though this number for defensive ends and pass rushers is going to get here probably within the next 2-3 years anyways, regardless of this particular deal happening. But are the Browns set up for success? We have no idea, but I hope so.
They got a pathway. You're hitting on your quarterback. You hit a quarterback, that can change shit real quick. We saw it in Houston. So you hit on a quarterback in this draft or whenever you get one, and they can definitely change the tide of a franchise. But just talking about Rich, like you would think being an NBA agent, obviously starting off being, or not starting off, but being LeBron's agent, one of the face of the league for the last 2 decades, and then just being in that sweet spot where you're almost like the Scott Boras, like he is in baseball. That's what Rich is in the NBA. For him to even be in the spot where it's like, I want to do more. I want to get to the NFL. I want to have apparel. I want to have these deals with New Balances. Just kind of lets you know where his mind is business wild crazy.
Yeah, nonstop.
Yeah.
If you're driving around stop to stop with jerseys in your trunk, selling them, okay? You obviously have, like these kids who sell shoes nowadays.
Yeah.
Like there's early indications of a hustler, like directly in front. If this person is willing to do this, to make $8 on this particular, and everybody kind of mocked the whole thing after a while, but like Gary Vee talking about the garage sales and the yard sales and going and getting something for $10 and then selling it for $14 on Marketplace. Boom, you just made $4. Now, did you lose that in gas traveling to this place? Potentially, but in the end, like that type of stuff, Rich is always going to have some sort of angle. What's the angle? Rich is going to have an angle, but the way he talks about it, he tries to do it the right way, I think.
Yeah.
It feels like he's trying to do it all the right way, which I appreciate. And that's like Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is an old school football coach. Like he's an old school football coach. He expects this, you're going to act this way, this is how you're going to operate, yada, yada, yada. That is what he is. But everybody, because he's so flashy and they see the behind the scenes vlogs whenever he's with his kids and his family, they don't know that, they don't understand that. So they just assume, he's running a soft operation up there. It's like, that's not the case at all. No. And I think with people with Rich Paul, they're like, well, he's LeBron's friend and he's just friends with all these people. It's like, I don't think that's how Rich Paul operates at all. I think if you learn more about how he does, he's an old school type business guy. It feels like whenever you chat with him. And the way he's like, I want to hold my guys accountable and teach them like this is how we go. And for college NIL, he says, I don't want to just chase a bag. Like, let's do this the right way so we learn stuff. I think we need more of that in society. Right. Legit, AJ. I think we need more of that in society.
He's super professional. Like every time you see him anywhere, like he seems to be super professional and he doesn't take things personally. Like it's about business. Like I would assume he has great relationships with all the front office people in the NBA, NFL, probably every other professional sports league now too.
Rich runs the league. Con man,
Well,
he doesn't like us to say it's not a bully. It's just I just have conversations.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too. Like he said, the NBA and NFL crossover with ownership. Like you would assume at some point LeBron's going to get a basketball team, and everyone said the Vegas team, if they eventually get an NBA team there, that is something LeBron wants to be a part of. And you would assume Rich Paul and Maverick Carter and those guys that are part of LeBron's team would also be involved in those ownership conversations when it comes to an NBA expansion team. So you kind of can see he carries himself almost like an owner already, and and how he does business and everything, and he's just incredibly successful.
A vegan
of beef to the beef.
I love that.
Incredible.
That was a good
Vegan to the drama.
Yeah, they had a little dust up. Happy they both moved on. Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's just yep, they did. Let's move. What are we doing here?
LeBron was laughing about
Not outside, boys. What are we? Let's keep this. Let's keep it moving here. He's like that with everything. I've called him a couple times off air whenever something's happened, and he's just like, don't love that we all know that this is happening. Yeah, like that's always his kind of like, let's just come on. This game has been good to us. It's all been, we are living great lives right now because of this. Let's not let bullshit kind of get in the way. And let's make sure we take care of it, which I respect. We have a bag in Dallas. Ooh. The greatest example of the new dynamic kickoff was by this man, formerly of the XFL, I do believe. The Cowboys are now finalizing a 3-year, $18 million deal with wide receiver and return specialist Cavante Turpin, making the NFL's highest paid special teamer. Sources tell Tom Pelissero and Jane Slater. Darren Jones of Maven Sports and Derek Gilmore of Day One Sports and Entertainment did the deal. 2 agents, 1 returner, highest paid special teamer in the history. Do you think they each get 1.5%? Do you think that is? And how do 2 different agencies work together? And if 2 different agencies are working together, are they one agency? Interesting questions from me for all of these things. But with that being said, congrats to Turpin, man.
Hell yeah.
Did not have an easy road, obviously, to become a very wealthy and successful football player. He has earned it along the way for being absolutely electrifying. Wide receiver obviously has the ability to get the ball in his hands and make some time or make some hay if they give him some space. But as a return specialist, especially with this new kickoff and with punt return and everything they got going on, I love everything about it.
Turpin's awesome. But did you happen to see, now I didn't fully vet the tweet, but the 3-year 18, that's what, $6 million a year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you see the tweet that the Cowboys have not signed a free agent in 10 years that has been more than $6 million a year?
I did see that tweet as well. I did not vet the tweet either, but we did see that age. And that's kind of been the topic of discussion with Jerry Jones. He says he's going all in. He says he's going all in. This guy never does anything. Interesting, bringing somebody in from the outside more than $6 million a year. Interesting with the Dallas Cowboys. Nonetheless, they keep Turpin, who's a weapon age.
It makes me think of, was it Bill Belichick say that on this show, or maybe with the Mannings, when some team kicked to Turpin and Belichick lost his mind.
The Browns.
I remember he just couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't believe that he actually kicked. Yeah, right down the middle. That's what. Whenever I think of Turpin, I think of Bill being so distraught in the fact that they kicked it right down the middle too.
That's probably not a good idea.
It was on this show.
What are we doing?
Kick the ball
It's
right
like
down
week
the
2.
middle.
Right out.
Game break Turpin.
Yeah.
As a punter, I mean, what?
I was like, you're right. You're right, Bill. Why would you kick the ball to that guy?
AJ, what would you do every time you punt?
Right out of bounds. Give me about maybe a 49-yarder out of bounds.
Perfect. I love it. I
do that every time.
I could not do the out of bounds. I did not have that much control. I could get it into spaces for sure. I did 49-yard, like 4.9, 4.8 hang, fair catch. Yeah, that was my go-to.
That's good. That works too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, you give up the 65-yard, bombs that make people go, ooh, So you just have to come out early for warm-ups and let the people know you still got it. Okay, hey, listen, still got it. I'm playing the course today, but I want to let you know the big driver is still out there. I'm going to be hitting a lot of 3-wood today, okay? You're going to see it. And that's for the benefit of our team that we're out here. But just know it's still in there if we need it. That was the last 5 years of my career.
Does the directional take a little more time? Like, it gives you more chance to get it blocked or not?
So the only reason why directional would affect the block is if you were to get out of the pocket. If you get out of the pocket, now that everybody runs a 4.5 or quicker, that is on special teams block team, the edge comes a little bit quicker, you see. Yeah. The edge comes a little bit tighter, you see. So staying in the pocket matters. Sometimes whenever people are kicking directional, they go out of the pocket and then boom, they get taken advantage of on a short angle or a short end or whatever. Time-wise, everything's a straight punt. So you should be able to do it as quick as possible. But if you stay in the pocket, you should be A-okay. The thing is, can you commit to it? Because if you commit to that small of a field and you miss, that's not great. Like for me, the Aussies helped me out immensely because I hit the end-over-end punt to the left because anytime I was going left, I was scared to death the ball was going to drop in like this and I was going to have a 14-yard shank inside. So if you drop the ball and it turns like this inside your leg and you're trying to kick, it's almost, you got no shot. And I don't know how other punters
I like golf.
Figured it out. I literally watch people punt right-footed to the left, and they'll just hit these perfect balls, and I'm like, mentally, I don't know how you do it, brother. Anytime I was standing there, in my head, I'm like, that's 10 yards. That's 10 yards. So I just started doing only Aussie punts to the left. So I would hit just an end-over-end ball. I would look like I'm going right to. Then I would hit it back to the left, and it would go like 48 to 50 yards, 4.8, 4.9 hang time, and it was a fair catch every single time. Because the returner thought I was going this way, so they had to sprint this way. And then obviously with the way it's coming down, don't want to bobble it. And boom, we get a 48-48. And
feels good.
Hey, I'm jogging right off the field as we got job well done there. Now you got to swing hard, which is probably why I blew out my knee every. Last 3 years we're blowing out. We're going full bore on this thing every swing. But yeah, there's punter money actually just came. I believe the Bucks just signed Riley Dixon from the Denver Broncos to a $6 million deal. They formerly had Bradley Pinion, 2 year, $6 million deal for Riley Dixon, formerly of the Broncos. Now he goes down to the Bucks. I think the Bucks, or maybe it was the Falcons, had Bradley Pinion. Whatever the case, that's a good deal. $3 million per for Dixon. Go ahead and bomb some balls down in Tampa Bay, and enjoy the no taxes of Florida. All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll wrap up all the storylines of today. Conman, how do you feel about the Patriots? Any moves today?
No moves today, but kind of expected a quiet day. It feels like we talked about it yesterday, the waves that happened with this free agency. Always a big one on Monday. Tuesday slows. Wednesday, new league year officially starts. Another big one, So even today has just been a little bit of teams getting under the cap. But I got some hope for some guys. Got my eyes on a few players that I think would look good with this logo.
Did the Bruins have a game tonight?
Yeah, they're playing the Panthers. Brad Marchand and the Panthers coming to town.
No.
Really?
Yes.
I heard Brad Marchand dropped in the group text with the lads and just started chirping immediately. He's fit in like gangbusters with the Florida Panthers team. Did you hear that?
Yeah, ask D-Bud. He follows the team.
D-Bud, you're a Florida Panthers fan?
He had a great press conference. And he honestly, he sounded a little bummed out. Not as bummed out as Connor, but close. Sounded a little bummed out that he couldn't work things out in Boston. But look, the boys are all in right now in the back-to-back. All in. Look at him getting a skate.
Yeah, here's him this morning.
Nice morning skate, AJ.
Look at him.
Who's that guy who got suspended, D-Bud?
Eklat.
What was he doing?
What's his name?
What happened? What did he do?
Don't fucking worry about my team, all right? Worry about your team, all right?
Eklat?
Worry about my team, all right?
This is why it's Ekblad. You
worry about my team.
Asshole.
Worry about my team.
Oh, what did he take?
Games.
Did you happen to see what
good shit
D-But's got?
We'll see. The Florida Panthers, big one tonight against the Boston Bruins.
Ekblad. This fucking guy.
He's not going to be playing, so that's good for you guys. And with the way you treated Marchand on his way out, okay, I hope tonight goes well for you, because if not, I think it's going to be loud here tomorrow.
It won't.
I'm not talking about it. No way.
Tried to stay. Marchand tried to stay.
He went in there and fought. He went in there and fought to remain a Bruin.
He competed. Yeah, he competed for his job to stay on the team. He was going to make some compromise, and they said, nah, we'll see you.
You guys Pete Carrolled him. Just kicked his ass out of the meeting, right? That's what I was reading.
I'm watching Celtics, and I'm watching football. I'm not talking about the Bruins ever fucking again. So
wow.
Until they fucking change everything over there. Fuck that.
What?
Yeah. McAvoy, Pasta.
Who owns
Swayman,
them?
I love them. I legitimately, if Don Sweeney got hit by a bus, I'd start drinking. I'd celebrate. Fuck that guy. Forever. Forever.
Man.
Marchand was the team.
How's your coach?
Felt like he was the guy.
This would be the first time. Think about this. This would be the first time since 2002. Chara, Patrice Bergeron, or Brad Marchand aren't playing.
You guys ran Chara out of town too.
A little different. A little different
quite.
with Chara.
He played like 4 or 5 more years. He wanted to stay.
Little different. And Nick, the thing with Nick that's the worst is that if you chirp him about Crosby or the Pens, he gets pissed, but then he'll do this shit.
Well, you shouldn't have chirped us about Crosby and the Pens. Look what happened.
Like week 2. Yeah, look what happened. Okay.
Yeah. Karma, he says, we remembered, the hockey gods remembered what you were saying about Sid getting traded up to Boston. Instead, you guys are the ones selling all superstars.
You were the one that approached the question. Is Sid getting traded?
It was a wonder.
Yeah.
With the way that team
Does Sid want to get traded was my question. Does he want to go somewhere else?
And he doesn't. Thank you.
But would you blame him if he's like, hey, I want to go win another Stanley Cup?
Absolutely not, which is why I brought the question up as a Pittsburgh Penguin fan, because it does suck whenever you see all the hockey standings and you hear the hockey conversation. And we're nowhere near it.
Nope.
We are nowhere near the conversation.
I hope you guys figure it out.
That was a sport that I could always have in my back pocket at any given moment.
Good to be the champs.
All right.
I'm not talking. I'm done with hockey for sure. Fuck that.
Ain't your youth coach still coaching?
Fuck
him too.
I'm not talking to you about hockey ever. But I'm not talking about hockey.
This is Stanley Cup champs.
I'm not talking
Why
about
D-Butt?
because he comes over to me with the with something earlier this morning, but then Ekblad, Ekblad.
Oh, I said a wrong fucking name.
That's all you do is say it wrong, dude.
Yeah, but he calls
You
him
got
Becky.
okay. You want to know my problem? There are 3 hockey fans in this building. It's me, Nick, and Gumpy. 4 fucking assholes. Don't give a fuck about hockey. Exactly. And no, you don't.
Yes,
None of you
I
guys
do.
do.
Yes,
None
I
of you
do.
guys give a fuck about the sport.
Hockey's
So
only,
my team
my
sucks.
70th birthday was a Pittsburgh Penguin birthday cake, you fucking asshole.
when was that? When was that?
7 years ago.
Okay, yeah. And you don't give a fuck about the hockey team
The
anymore.
Penguins suck.
Yeah, exactly.
They stuffed the
I
Penguins.
still care and they're bad. Okay? Gumpy's team's great. That's awesome. Nick's team sucks. He gets it. But he still cares. And it fucking blows. But Butch comes in here. Oh, fucking Tampa Bay Lightning fan 4 years ago. I've been a Panthers fan 31 years since their inception.
Sue
This
me.
guy fucking goes on
Sue me.
Wikipedia.
I'm not to the game.
This guy
Get
goes
out
on
the game.
Wikipedia.
Gatekeeper.
This guy goes on
Don't be a
Wikipedia
gatekeeper for
and
the
tries to
sport.
study the fucking team. He doesn't know shit.
Hey, Sue me, I watch
about
hockey
the
talk,
Panthers.
all right? I watch fucking hockey
This guy was a fucking Lightning
hockey
fan.
Dawson.
He doesn't
Fucking
know
PK.
shit.
Yeah, you guys got me over. Guess what? We're the fucking champs.
Gotta be a fucking fan.
This sport's great.
Fucking brutal. It's fucking the worst.
champs.
Listening to you marks. Can't even skate. You know what? You guys are hockey fans. Let's go to a fucking rink and
I can
skate.
skate.
How about that?
D-Butt
Let's
can
do
skate.
that.
I could get around.
Yeah, let's do that.
I can get around.
Yeah.
Friday night, $5 all you can skate, please.
I can get around on a skateboard. Doesn't mean I know how to skateboard.
See, I can't. That's what I'm saying this whole time.
Me neither.
But I could. But if we do ball hockey, bub, clap on, top chin.
That's not hockey. That's why they call it ball hockey.
I hope that's not
because it's not hockey.
It's called deck hockey, actually. I was just trying to make it
Bingo.
right for everybody
You're
else
right.
outside of Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
I've been able to cover-
Hockey's not
cover
played on
wide
a
out
deck,
for years.
brother.
Well,
Played on ice.
I'll tell you what. If I was to get ice skates on right now, I think everything from knee down would cramp up immediately.
The shins.
Calves, shins, feet, probably, you name it. And I would just look like I'm on like stilts going around. But I'd be able to skate. I'd be able to skate. All right. Congrats to your Boston Bruins making one of the biggest moves in the history of hockey. Send their captain down to the Florida Panthers.
Thank you.
And tonight they meet for the first time, and we'll keep you updated because you're not watching. There's a chance Bruins win. We'll talk about it. We like hockey, so we'll talk about it, right?
Yeah, me and Zeke talk hockey every morning. We just gave him his new goalie. He's balling.
Hockey.
Thank you, Spencer Knight.
You still like the Pens even though they treat you like shit? Or how's that work? I forget how that works.
Oh, con man.
Because basically everybody in here gets stuff from the team, but they treat you like a bag of donuts. So
We're old school.
Okay.
The Pens are old school.
Okay.
You know, that's what they are. They play an old school style, too, a little slower than everybody else, okay? It's not great in 2025, but when it comes back around, we got it. Hockey's awesome. Never forget it. Go USA.
No one has more draft picks in the Pens in the next 2 drafts.
That's right, and we're going to use them right.
and you care about those too.
Yeah, I'll know.
When it comes to the NFL, you care about draft picks. When it comes to the NHL, you care even more.
The NHL draft is certainly an interesting one. That is certainly an interesting draft. I'll watch it out there in Las Vegas. The boys are coming over to America.
Oh, yeah.
Cross a couple ponds, and they can't wait to get on with us with a last name that I'll never be able to pronounce. And maybe a few years until we see them. But when they get on that ice, it is magical. Playoff hockey, deservedly of a watch. Like, no question about it.
NBA playoffs this year. Look out.
Should be great.
It's going to be so much better.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side to wrap up this glorious off-season Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Like Connor, I'm happy that the Patriots are back for you, brother.
Thanks, man. Please go on.
That's it.
No.
Take
Please.
Bye. Hello, beautiful people. I am here to tell you that I have a massive announcement to make about a great time that is on the horizon. A show that is unprecedented, incomparable, a show that has no equal, a big night out. coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the PPG Paints Arena on Wednesday, April 9th. There will be massive surprises. There will be big-time sing-alongs, hella laughs, and over $1 million will be given away inside of that arena. Give me a hell yeah! Tickets will go on sale Thursday. It'll cost as little as $20 to get in the door. No ticket will cost more than $100. It's gonna be a night that you remember forever. And you might even see this guy. All right, Cole, get out. And many others. Tickets on sale in a few days. I can't wait to see you at a big night out.
Sue us. Don't actually. Shout out Brett Favre. That was for me. That was for me.
Tonight is a night where everything's going to be remembered. Every play, every sweat, every fight.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I'll go soon, soon. Know as a child back in the womb.
Hey, let's have a national championship Monday, huh?
My name's Pat McAfee. I've started this show 2 different occasions already. This will be the 3rd. Wow. It's 2023. We eat adversity for lunch. There's just so many different forms of gummies coming in my mouth.
Boss man, can you do a kickflip?
100 for it? 100 for it?
Oh!
Come on, bro. That was awesome.
Hey, this little teddy bear is cool. This little round thing is sweet. All right, I feel pretty good for this ESPN party. Let's go have a blast in there. Boom. Need you to do a red carpet. I've never done a red carpet before.
I gotta poop, sorry.
I don't know if now's the time.
We're invited to the ESPN party, and now we are all sitting on a red carpet. We had no idea this was coming, obviously. We thought we were just getting some free drinks.
A lot of people on the internet say I look tired. What's that all about? I'm a massive fan of Posner. He was getting motivational speeches in between songs. He was playing other people's songs. He was telling people to stay down. We're going to make a moment. Only on the count of 3, we're going to go crazy.
Oh, I know. Sad song. Sad song.
Oh, oh yeah.
A couple of these. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Who's up? What do you want?
What'd you do?
Gotta make this practice game, baby. It's gotta last until 9 o'clock.
Happy birthday, sack of shit.
I'm so fired up to be here.
Yeah.
I got a necktie and everything.
Holy shit. Tim Tebow's here. Oh my God.
Look at that cut.
The most handsome shot in our show's history. Nick Saban has been spotted at SoFi. Great work in the backflop team. The boys crushed it. Now we got game day, then the MegaCast. Let's go. Hey, let's have a night. Obviously, the enemy of great is good. The enemy of a dynasty is winning one championship and letting it go. Fran, you're obviously going to Colorado, a place that's been looking for some sort of championship for 20 years. You're also one of the greatest speakers I've ever heard. What are you saying to your team?
You can't get here and all of a sudden change.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a different mannerism of somebody, and especially the coaches. See, everybody's talking about the players.
Yeah.
But you got to coach the coaches, too.
Did you smile there, too? Were you smiling?
I
saw a smile.
I do that every now and then.
The rat poison, smiling. That's embedded fourth quarter perfection. Matthew Stafford, fourth quarter perfection. Big moments, Tebow perfection. We got some real magic here tonight, don't we? And I love that toad that takes those mushrooms and eating them. With that being said, Stetson Bennett's 25 years old. He's so damn comfortable. Darnell Washington's the backup tight end. He's 6'7", 270. Brock Bowers, best player on the field. The defense full of dogs. Give me the Georgia Bulldogs go back-to-back. First time since this man and his Alabama squad. I love the Bulldogs tonight, barking all over the place, Coach.
All right, here we go, huh? A little bit of rush from old game day down the field. We went all the way to the roof to come back. We are so sorry. All right, let's roll. I gotta get to the sleep, and then I'm gonna hop over the sleep thing. Look, Brad.
are looking at SoFi Stadium, where we'll be crowning a national champion for our college football season tonight. And the Dogs are on the board early. Wide open.
That's the shot that they wanted, baby.
Oh, that's embedded with his second touchdown in the first half. Pick.
Oh, no.
Georgia's first down. One-handed touchdown. Brock Bowers, touchdown. It is currently 45-7. It is 52-7. Touchdown.
This is just a good old back home ass whooping.
It's a blowout, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-o. That son of a bitch, Uga, is having the night of his life.
Wow.
It's raining indoors in Los Angeles. This is God taking a tinkle on something magical, isn't it? Let's get that.
Get him on camera.
That mustache.
Holy smoke.
Holy smokes.
Are you a firefighter?
Good for you, bro. Thanks for your service. First down, Horned Frogs on a 2nd and 3. Why don't we call a game? Holy hell, Tim Tebow is coming. Tebow, we're live.
We're on.
We're live right now. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium. Right before the break, an extra point almost killed Tim Tebow. Natural instincts had to take in place. I could not lose the greatest human on earth, and I'm happy they gave you that ball, Tim. Tone, act like you're Sonny Dykes, please.
All right, boss. First half didn't go our way. We're doing this for the great state of Texas. You know who else was down 31 points?
Who's that?
The Italians.
All right, let's take the tractor another round. What are you watching out there, Coach?
Honestly, you know, they're better off grabbing Luka Doncic out of the crowd and maybe lining him up next to Quentin Johnson at receiver. Because they can't do a damn thing.
We decided Tebow here, formerly known as praying for this TCU team to do something. So you put your hands up, play that song, butterflies fly away. Thank you for your service, sir. You're a badass, man.
Those other Americans, I wouldn't be here.
What a run, huh? The boys crushed it. This shit
TCU sucks. It's gonna be so mean all the time.
What?
That's all she wrote for college football season. What a year. Let's fucking get home.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this big off-season Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football! It is wonderful. That's A.J. Hawk. He won a college football national championship, a Super Bowl championship, and he currently has a tree on the Ohio State University campus because he was All-American and a Hall of Famer.
Whoa.
Good job,
It's A.J. Hawk.
Shit.
Go visit that tree ever? You water that tree? You ever make sure that tree is a nice, thick, sturdy base? Do you ever take care of said tree, the Hawkeye tree? And are there hawks living in the tree over there in Ohio?
I mean, that would be pretty sweet if Hawks did find a way to nest in there. I don't believe so. I don't have to do anything to take care of the tree. It's been some years since I have been there, but I know where it is.
Scott won't visit his tree.
That's messed up.
It's because he has so much success. It's hard not to. You know, you burn a couple trees, you go see your own tree, and maybe you start looking at life a little differently. You've done a lot. You've accomplished a lot of things. Congratulations, AJ.
Oh, yeah, Hawks.
AQ Shipley said to me during a break, he said, your hair looks like you're wearing a yarmulke now with
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, no.
That's all right. What's wrong with that, AQ? I can't wear a yarmulke?
No, AQ is actually married to a Jewish lady, so I think he is more well-versed in the Jewish world.
I see it. I see it a bit. I get it.
Yeah, let's call it. Yeah, let's give him a call. He texted me and said, did AJ go on that cruise and convert to Judaism? And I didn't fully know what he was saying. And then as soon as your face popped up on the screen, there is like a dark
I got it now.
circle
Yeah.
right there.
I can see it definitely on this screen. Yeah, now I look at it.
Well, shalom, my brother, and mazel for all
Thank
the
you
great
very
things that you have accomplished. It is a great look. And once again, if that is the new you, God bless you. Okay, talking about the first.
God bless you. God bless you guys as well.
And also with you.
And also, I don't know if that's. I've never been to a service over there, but
By the way,
Give it a go. I will. I would love to, actually.
As would I.
I've been to a service where they, kapow, Jesus Christ, the Spirit.
They shoot you.
Yeah, pow.
The Dragon Ball Z.
Boom. And then let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the Spirit. Yeah. And then they get caught by two people. And then they put a towel over top. Kind of keep warm as they got the Spirit kind of running through their soul. And then they ran out of towels, so there was people that the Spirit hit a little harder than maybe the others.
Sure.
So they were still Dahn. They were still wrestling with the Holy Ghost, and they needed the towel, so they wasn't just kind of got it off of them, the cloth, I guess, and then they would go put it on a new person went out there. Man. I saw somebody get concussed. Yeah.
Saw someone get brought back to life, right?
Well, there was somebody at a funeral I went to where they said if we all believed hard enough,
funeral, my bad,
maybe that would come back to life. That was a tough moment for all of us. So I explore. I enjoy the religious world, and whatever. Hey, whatever you believe in, more power to you. But AQ was wondering if you were potentially Jewish because of the yarmulke look. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, a man who is married to a Jewish lady, has obviously learned immensely about it, also has a cross tattooed right on his arm. Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley. How you doing, AQ?
I feel like I can say a lot of these things because I'm part Jewish now.
Yes, you're kids.
You are.
You're kids.
You are.
Yeah, certainly.
Bingo.
I don't know if
Bingo.
you are. I don't know if you've made the jump.
We're working on that. Maybe.
Yeah, you got a big cross there. Had to cover it up for a wedding. Obviously, we're not going sleeveless out here. Just going to make it all. But it does look like a yarmulke. But the fact that you sent that and it's accurate made us all say we need to talk to AQ Shipley today. There's been a lot of offensive line moves, Bub. Now, if you'd like to finish your thought on the yarmulke, okay. If you'd like to dive into any of the offensive line moves that you've seen thus far that really caught your eye, go ahead and do that as well. AQ Shipley, ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, 12-year NFL vet and coach. What are your thoughts, AQ?
Well, first thought is AJ, you got to get that cleaned up. We need a haircut. This is
don't have to.
You don't have to. It's okay.
No, we have to. We have to. We got to get the Hawk.
But I am going
His last name's Hawk. His last name's Hawk.
And there are people that ask for the Hawk cut. I've done that before, so there is people wondering. I understand what you're saying. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if you are Jewish, AJ, Mazel, completely okay.
It's a different haircut. It's the Rothschild.
Okay.
What's that? What's that about? What's that mean, Con? Can you explain that? I don't know.
All right, there's a lot of conversations on the internet. Hey, Q, let's talk about the offensive line conversations that are happening on the internet right now. Which move in free agency either shocked you or which move in free agency did you absolutely love?
Yeah, the interesting thing is when you look at these moves, I think the biggest thing that shocked me is the Kansas City Chiefs let Joe Thuney go and they replaced him with a guy who's got 15 starts in 51 games. So, those situations happen, right? Like where you shine in those 10 to 15 games and boom, you get that big deal, but it's not a ton of tape. So that move shocked me. I think Dan Moore, just being a Pittsburgh guy, a lot of guys were not thrilled about Dan Moore over the last couple of years and he gets $80 million, right? Aaron Banks is a guy who, he's in San Francisco. He plays, he's a little bit injured, but he hasn't been quite what they thought he was going to be, obviously enough to let him out of the building, and he goes and gets $80 million from Green Bay. Drew Dahlman, I love that pickup by the Chicago Bears. I think they've completed their offensive line, right? They went and got their two guards with trades. They got their tackles in the draft, and then they go get Drew Dahlman. So I absolutely love that move. Obviously, I'm going to pub my guy, Robert Hainsey, $21 million for the big boy. Big move. Big move going down to Jacksonville, reuniting with Liam Cohen. Super pumped for him. Just a quick plug, obviously. I think he works harder than anybody on planet Earth. I've worked with him the last 4 years, so I'm pumped to see him get his opportunity to be the guy. But I think probably the big move, right? Drew Dahlman complete in Chicago. I think Ben Johnson realized what he had in Detroit with the offensive line there. They're literally like a piece or two away. Like I'm sitting here thinking if they can go get a running back, maybe. They got everything they had in Detroit to go and take over the NFC North.
If you have a good offensive line, you can compete. I think that's what we've learned over, the last couple of years within the trenches. I think we've tried to spotlight that even more so. And I love the fact that Ben Johnson understood that too. That means in Detroit, he understood it as well whenever he was there with the boys. I assume his conversation with the offensive line was very much as one that is very grateful, a lot of gratitude shown to them. And as soon as he gets to Chicago, he's sending a message to Caleb and everybody, hey, we're going we're going to play football now. Like we are going to do what football calls for. You didn't mention it there. Laramie Tunsil traded.
Huge.
From the Texans to the Commanders. Great for Jaden Daniels, obviously. And I think Rappaport said that they're just going to bank on somebody else being able to do it. If all the teams that signed a tackle that we maybe hadn't heard of were in on Laramie Tunsil, and they decided to go another way to see if somebody else can maybe prove or younger or grow into it, as opposed to getting Laramie Tunsil, who we know is a guy, right? Like every week, that is what Laramie Tunsil is.
Laramie Tunsil is an absolute stud, and honestly, in my opinion, Houston had a very lackluster offensive line last year. This was the only guy. Now, I think the one thing he needs to clean up for being a guy who is as highly coveted as he was coming out, is as highly coveted and paid as he's been in the National Football League. An interesting thing is when you get a left tackle that's an absolute stud, typically you don't let those guys out of the building. I guess the concern is this is his third team already, and he's under the age of 30. I think that's one issue. He has a lot of penalties. I think he had something like 30-something penalties or something last year. So I think those two things he gets cleaned up, but he goes to a place where they value offensive line. They're a couple pieces away as well. Now you go and with obviously one of the best young quarterbacks in the National Football League. They make a move, go get Deebo Samuel. This is an exciting team to watch. They lost their right guard last year with an ACL, but I think they might be able to move a tackle, Coleman, who was playing left tackle last year, into one of the guards. Might have to do some reshuffling, but this is a huge piece for the Washington Commanders.
Mekhi Becton obviously pulled it off this past season, won a Super Bowl, and reset his entire career seemingly after people deemed him a bust. So maybe there is a little bit more reshuffling for the Commanders to do. You mentioned a lot of names in this offensive line chatter. You didn't mention two that are pretty big. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Koosh, Ryan Kelly and Will Fries, a couple ex-Colts are going up to the Vikings. Is that strictly because the Rams just bullied the fuck out of them in that playoff game?
Yeah, that has something to do with it. Their offensive line wasn't good. They needed to retool it. Their right tackle's awesome. Obviously, they have Darisaw, right? Like, they got two really good tackles. Their interior has struggled over the last couple years, and they did give up 1 million sacks, obviously, to the Rams. Will Fries, great pickup, former Penn State guy. Love him. Love that move. The Ryan Kelly move, I think that confused me a little bit. I love the move. I like Ryan Kelly. I think he's a really good center going up there, but they had Bradbury, who they'd have invested in, former first-round pick. Seems like Bradbury's probably on his way out at this point, but I love what the Vikings are doing. I think on the other side of the ball, getting Jonathan Allen and Hargrave is huge. I mean, they've already had a good defense with Flores, and now you add those two pieces. They re-signed Byron Murphy, obviously. I mean, I think the Vikings are going to be a damn good team next year.
Who's going to be their quarterback? That's the big combo. Sam Darnold's in Seattle. Daniel Jones is in Indianapolis. Tom Pelissero tweeted this earlier today that all eyes are J.J. McCarthy basically going to be the starter. And then Mike Silver, who's been covering the NFL for a very long time, he just said that Kevin O'Connell's opinion on who plays quarterback weighs heavy in that building, and there's a lot of interesting conversations happening. What does that mean? What
does that mean?
I don't know. It seems like until something is said from the Vikings or decided by the Vikings, it's still very much open. And
I mean, the Daniel Jones move to Indy has to assume they're leaning JJ, right? Like that's what that has to assume. Like they're going to give him or somebody else. You thinking Aaron? What are we talking?
Yeah, that's the
until 8 signs somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Aaron Rodgers. Now, maybe it's number 8. Maybe it's a new number.
Well, 12 is retired in Pittsburgh, so he's 8.
Okay, well,
fair.
But maybe it's a new number. Maybe it's who knows what it could be. I'm sure there's some ayahuasca number that we could find.
What number is it?
It's a symbol.
But you think I don't know. You tell me, H. You tell me with all the new wisdom.
He would have to put in a flyer with the league to try to appeal to get a symbol. Is what I think Tone is on the right track. Some kind of weird symbol or something.
Would it be the teepee that they go into, or would it be the ayahuasca flower? Like it, the artist formerly known as.
So many options.
So many options. Hey, Raj, get it done with Raj.
Yeah.
Infinity, 8 sideways.
Yeah, maybe it is 8 sideways. Yeah, he's infinity.
Oh, that's also
my
infinity.
God. That'd be awesome.
Infinity.
Yeah, it would sell a lot. Nonetheless, him playing. Yeah, he's in a hotel. His kids are on spring break. He's got a lot going on over there.
Got a lot.
Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback for that Vikings team. I think we talk about it and think about it more just strictly because we are fans of Aaron and friends of Aaron. And it's like a lot of people hate Aaron. A lot of people talk a lot of shit on Aaron. I think that's Aaron's life. I think that's kind of how it's always been. But if you watch those last few games like we did, because we were talking to Aaron every single week, And you kind of see what the Jets were able to do. And now, granted, who are they playing against? The games didn't matter, blah, blah, blah. You can say all that shit. It's like they played. And this Rams defense is very good. And they played very well at the end of the year. So if you know Aaron a little bit and you saw what he was able to do at the end of the year, you still think that his arm is there. Like, if you still think Aaron's arm is there, which we do after watching the end of the year, it's like Kevin O'Connell can have his ass. He can have an offense that is on time, and all you need is to be very accurate. It's like Aaron has all those things.
Yeah.
And Aaron can see every single defense. Aaron knows exactly what's going to happen before the play even goes. It's like you start thinking about it more and more. It's like that would be a really good relationship for Aaron Rodgers and the way he plays. And also the Vikings, if they were to go that way. Now, do they want to do another one-year quarterback like they did with Sam Darnold? Do they want to put J.J. McCarthy in right now to see what they have? Like, there's so many of those questions that have to happen. But me personally, as somebody that watched him play at the end of the year and sees what this Vikings team is, and now we know Justin Jefferson, Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi, like we know. It's like that's a cool team. That's a good team. And they were one game away from being the number one seed in the NFC last year. It's like, how many question marks do they want to have? I don't know. It's just it's a fascinating development. And then everybody in Pittsburgh thinks Aaron's going to Pittsburgh because that's best for them. Not everybody in Pittsburgh wants that, but people in Pittsburgh think that is very much an option at this point. So there's a lot of chatter about Aaron right now. Not that there ever isn't.
Who knows how much JJ was in there? Like, you're talking about this year for sure, but the future, the years after, it would be better for the Vikings too, just because of how Aaron can teach JJ so much stuff, and people will say what they want about Aaron as the mentor type player, because obviously there's a lot of fodder around that with Jordan Love when those few years were there, but clearly he was a great mentor to Jordan Love and how he has progressed and become immediately one of those really, really good quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for him not to be in Minnesota, it feels like, but also, maybe Minnesota just loves JJ so much and they're confident in him coming off 2 knee surgeries.
AJ, what's Aaron want to do? Have you talked to him? You know more than anybody.
I honestly have not talked to him. I would love to know what he wants to do. I selfishly think he should go to Pittsburgh. I think that would be a great spot. I think it would be awesome to see him play there, especially with DK coming in. George Pickens hopefully still on the roster, but I don't know. I don't know when it could happen either. It should happen soon, right? Like, I would imagine over the next couple of days.
Rappaport was begging for it to happen today. If you do recall from earlier in the show, maybe your friend does it.
Hopefully.
I did see him.
Make it a little bit better.
Technically, he's a Jet till tomorrow.
Greeny ended Get Up.
Does it have to wait till at least tomorrow?
I don't think.
No.
No, all these deals. Yeah. We've already got those.
Yeah.
Debo.
Greeny ended Get Up with, "Hey, Maz, what day of the week is it?" And he said, "It's Tuesday." Well, you know what that means. Potentially. And I was like, he was alluding to Aaron coming on our show. And I'm like, did somebody tell Greeny? Is there somebody needs to stop lying to Greeny? We have no idea. I was really watching the show like, is Aaron coming on the show today?
Hold on.
Is that what is that what Greeny's saying? And I had to check in. The latest we've heard from AJ Hawk is we'll get a chance to chat with him soon.
Yeah.
That was last week. Last Friday, last Thursday.
That soon could also mean a month, right?
Whoa.
Depending. Because soon, in comparison to 3 years, a month is very soon.
It's relative.
Relative.
Yeah, everything's relative, brother. Everything's relative. The man with no shoes was bummed until he met the man with no feet. So
it's true.
Everything is relative, brother. That is literally life in a nutshell. Okay, what did we not talk to you about that we should have talked to you about?
Mekhi Becton.
Where's he going?
Okay, Mekhi Becton.
Where's he going? That's the question mark.
D-Butts
right?
actually, D-Butts wants to ask you this particular question.
Exactly what I was going to ask you. Why I know I expected him to get a bunch of money coming off of the year he had with your Trenchy award-winning O-line up there in Philly. Any ideas to why he hasn't signed yet, especially all these guys getting big money that we haven't necessarily heard of?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest question mark when you see something like this is he overvalues himself, right? I think Aaron Banks probably set the market. Will Fry's probably set the market. It looks like it's going to be in that somewhere between 80 and 90 million over 4 and 5 years. Like, that seems to be the number for the top guard. I think teams are probably a little bit scared because his first 3 or 4 years they didn't go as expected. He was almost considered a little bit of a bust. And then he gets put in a situation in Philadelphia, which I think you got to look at it. And that's the way I look at it as well, is like, okay, was he a product of everybody else around him, and also a product of the damn good coaching that he gets from Coach Stoutland? Or is that who he now is, right? I think that's the biggest question mark you have to ask with that. And because you haven't seen that deal happen yet, he's probably sitting there thinking, hey, I was the top guard on the market. I just won a Super Bowl. I reinvented myself. And he's probably putting himself a little bit above what these other guys got. And then now all of a sudden these other teams are like, well, there's still some question marks. You've done it for 1 year. And a lot of times that happens, but I think there is still something in the back of some coaches and GM's mind where like, is this the new guy or are we getting the old guy as well?
The thought of who would be in the market, I was just asking a room here, scanning the room, who would be in the market for Mekhi Becton? Who? If I'm Houston, I go get him right now. Okay.
Houston clearly has made the moves to go get skill, right? But they've unloaded their entire offensive line. They've gotten rid of Laramie Tunsil. They got rid of Shaq Mason. They got rid of Green, the former first rounder, who they obviously sent to Philadelphia in the trade, right? They've bolstered areas of their team skill-wise with C.J. Stroud, obviously Mixon, and they went and got Christian Kirk. Like, they have skill galore, but we all have seen it. If you don't have an offensive line, you can't win games, guys. You can't do it.
But if you have the best offensive line, you can't win the Super Bowl. Remember that?
That was his whole thing.
That was AQ Shipley's entire thing. You remember that, AQ?
All right. I changed my tune on that. I just thought they were going to lose to LA, which they almost did. And boy, was I FaceTiming you boys when the comeback was happening. It was coming.
Yeah, you were very proud of yourself. I told you they can't keep up with these young boys up front. They can't do it. Jalen's going to have to make some plays. He's not going to be able to. They were so dominant.
Oh, yeah.
I think they change everybody. AQ.
Yeah.
We've talked about the physicality coming back to ball and how important the offensive line is. Over the last few years, if you had the most dominant offensive line and dominant run game, you were going to be one of the last teams standing. It just kind of hadn't been put in the forefront yet because the Super Bowl champion was Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes won his last Super Bowl running the ball and playing great defense, but it wasn't really chatted about. It was like still quarterback, Travis Kelce. Philadelphia Eagles, it's like run game is the thing that can win a Super Bowl for you. And once other people see that you can win it all doing something, they normally tend to buy in, copycat league. I think it's a good time to be an offensive lineman, AQ, don't you?
I certainly do, because there's some guys, like I said, I wish I was still playing. I wish my neck didn't end this thing. Actually, I wish I was 25 years old playing in this era right now, because you get 15 or 18 games under your belt, you're getting $20 million. It's a beautiful thing right now. It's a beautiful thing.
You did sound like a little bit of a hater at the beginning. Now we know why. Now we know.
Yeah.
I played and I had 2 jobs. These guys are getting paid $80 million. Never heard of them. Never heard of these. It was a lot of NBA signings yesterday at the offensive line. We'd see these names pop up, and it's just like whenever a 7th man off the bench in the NBA signs for $100 million. Well, who? Who's getting up? But we did appreciate the emphasis on the trenches, and that's why we appreciate you. Have a good one, man. Enjoy the rest of whatever you got going on in that hotel.
I appreciate you, boys. Keep crushing it.
Where are you? You're in spring break right now?
Yeah, we're just doing a little staycation because it's keeping them in our house is no good. They just cling, but you get a different hotel even in the same area, and they all of a sudden think they're in Disney World.
Oh, that's a good play.
It's a good gimmick.
And you can run home if you have to.
Bingo. Still sleep in my own bed if I need to.
Well, don't leave your kids.
You're on vacation.
I might. I hate hotel bed. I might.
I say I hate my kids.
Yeah, they are the worst.
No. I'll be back before they wake up.
Listen, I hate hotel beds. I hate my kids. Those are 2 things. Those are 2 things get me out of there.
Love the kids.
Hey, I saw a good baseball in the backyard, I think, didn't I?
Yeah, son. How about that? Pretty good, huh?
Guaranteed money in baseball.
I'm seeing these baseball contracts. I don't even know if I'm going to introduce him to a football.
Don't put his hand in the dirt. Not one time.
Idea.
Only time the hand goes in the dirt whenever he trips and falls. Yep. That's it. You get a golf club in that hand. You get a baseball bat in that hand. Basketball. I think, especially with your Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Your
height,
ability. Yeah. Your arms.
6'1" white guys with short arms don't usually make it in the NBA. I get it.
That's a great shooting build in 2K, though.
Yeah, because you're like that robot that they created where your arms can only do one thing. Yeah. It's like, did you see that thing that took on Lethal Shooter took on the machine the other day? What is Lethal Shooter? Why is he not on a team? How come this doesn't get talked about?
I understand it now.
Now he's got to miss on purpose to make one. So now he's got to go on the second one and make it. Obviously, I don't know how long all this is taking. Okay, none of us know that. The fact that any of these shots go in, Still, and will get me every single time. Time. But him having to miss one on purpose and then go, I understand it now. And then locking in and hitting the next one, it's like, that's even more difficult. Now it's even more difficult in there.
I'm not even impressed by any of the basketball shit he does anymore. When he's throwing like a full court gummy bear into a Coke can.
Bottle.
Shit. Yeah, that like into that water bottle. Like that's the crazy shit.
Why is he not on a team? I've asked him maybe 10 times through DMs.
It's different.
Why aren't you on a team? And I think he had a surgery. I think he had I think he had some sort of surgery. So then he got into coaching. He could still shoot. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but like lethal shooter. We've been following along since the beginning. He has offered to come in here and teach us how to shoot.
Yeah, he needs to tell people that he had a surgery because I think a lot of people just assumed he can't slap the floor. And
you don't think he can play defense?
That's what a lot of people assume because if you can shoot like that, it doesn't even matter.
You don't have to play defense.
That's what I'm saying.
Defense is just effort anyway. You just post them up and shoot threes all day.
Dude, 5-on-4. Who gives a fuck?
That's my point.
You got to be able to get open and
stand right
shoot
there.
Over 6 foot 8 guys.
Stand in the do corner.
I mean, I never seen this film, but it's like when you see
Duke
guys
corner stuff
on the internet.
I don't know if he could handle the Duke corner.
68-yard field goals, and it's like, all right, you get in the game. Can you hit
you're right.
4 45-yarders in a row?
The trick kickers had a little bit of a run, and I didn't hate them enough at the time. They were talking shit to actual kickers and punters, and it's like, we can all go do what you're doing, right? Like, hey,
onside kicking in their living room.
Yeah, I actually enjoy that guy. His name is
through the door.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ball is. I think it's an arena ball that he's hitting there. He is very talented at those things.
John?
I don't know. I got to add it in him. So many people were talking shit to me about that guy. I just muted the whole thing, so I don't see him as much.
Smart.
But every once in a while, yeah. Which is my problem with the trick kick.
Sure.
That's kind of what happened. It was like, come on. That guy couldn't do it. I don't think anybody can do what he does. I just would like that to be known. But with the shooters, I mean, the shit he's doing is impossible.
Some of the best shooting ever.
Yeah, impressive. Great content.
And then the ideas, and he's a Red Bull sponsored athlete for shooting. I think that's a great deal. Now, AQ, maybe that is what you need to dive into because we just pulled up an old clip of the hammer from Moon Township. AQ Shipley. That guy thinks he's going to block the round mound of man. Yeah, right.
No chance.
You don't
no
have
chance.
I got a barbed wire tap, brother. None of them are connected because I don't want my soul to be trapped. But
Bingo.
I will certainly put this ball in the bottom of this bucket. Probably going off the glass here if I had to guess. We're going off the glass here.
Guaranteed 2 points. Guaranteed.
And you're putting an elbow through that guy's chest, I assume, after this?
Yeah, and if he thinks he's got any chance, the next time down, drop step, elbow, put him in the fucking bleachers, baby. Let's go.
Okay. Great arm length on old buddy. He's reaching over your little. That's AQ in the paint, though. That's AQ football. All right, we appreciate you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Amanda's currently on spring break. Will he stay with his family or not? TBD. AQ.
That is the question.
Thank you, AQ. Yeah, I need to get out of here. That's a good thing about vacationing in the town that you live.
Sure.
You could leave the kids and they don't even know.
Go sleep in your own bed.
Hotel beds do suck.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Not so much. Well, for me personally,
Pillows.
not so. Yes, it's the pillows.
The whole process.
Why are they so flat all the time?
Because think about how many pillows they have to buy
Sure.
in every hotel.
But even the nice hotels.
Yeah, think about how many pillows they have to buy for any hotel. And because I've asked this question numerous times because I have a massive head.
Sure.
So like, big head, not great for any pillow that isn't good. You know, like I'm going right to the mat. I just got some paper wrapped around the back of my head.
Like a neck pillow.
That is exactly. It's one of those. It's a little bit of a snuggie there around my head. That's basically all it is. And I've asked before, the people that are in the hotel management, that's a whole fucking business in itself. If you start piecing together the amount of sheets, pillows, things that need to be ordered just for one building, they're not that they're necessarily going to take the cheapest price every time, but they're not going to take the fucking highest price every single time. So you get what you pay for in that particular world. And I think the hotels are paying for like the mid-range one, nice hotels, and then cheap hotels are paying for the cheap ones. And we can tell, we can certainly tell. You can have a nice room, beautiful room, great views, and then you lay down, it's like, I'm going to sleep like shit. Great to be here. Great to be here, though. But I get up, the refrigerator's stocked. They got good options for the snacks, too. Peanuts for $45? Sure. Are those cashews? Are those cashews? Yeah. I think I'll do that. Why don't they spend the money and get a little fucking better pillows?
It'd be nice.
I think it's what we're all.
That's why Airbnb's so awesome.
Yeah, now you're using somebody else's pillow. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. But I mean, at a hotel, are you not using someone else's pillow anyways?
At least you know it's washed, most likely, the pillow cover.
You hope for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's those. Are you one of those? No, you're not. Those germaphobes, when they get into hotels, they're awesome. Have you ever walked into a germaphobe's room?
I know people are. I haven't walked into their room. What are they doing?
Yeah, I forget who it was. Hey, we're meeting at this room. Had a suite. So met at the room. Had to go piss. Oh, there's one in the bedroom. So I walked through bedroom. We had that fucker wrapped like they were moving out. They wrapped that thing like they were moving. It was unbelievable. What? Wrapped with like some sort of saran wrap of some sort, and then they had their shit on top of it, like a sleeping bag of some sort on top of it.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah,
I feel bad for those people.
Bro, I walked in.
Yeah, that would have been my first thought too.
Like cellophane wrap around everything?
That's crazy.
Are you sure they were germaphobes and they weren't murdering someone?
I mean, maybe they're murdering somebody, but
Is this Bill's
I
room?
brought this up. It was not Bailey McCombs. He did not have a suite that we were having a meeting in. But when that starts happening, let me know. I am very excited. Especially if he's coming up with the memes that he's coming up this morning. I think that time is coming much sooner than we could expect. But yeah, I immediately, as soon as I got out of there, hey, this guy's got a saran wrap bed right there. You know? And then that person told me a whole story about like these germaphobes and yada yada yada. There's people that bring like black lights to hotels.
Yeah,
do the whole.
Dude, why do you want?
Does Michael Cole do that like with the announcing desk too? Or?
It was not. Cole sleeps in the worst. Cole will stay in the worst fucking hotel in any town.
As long as it's close to the hotel.
If it's close to the airport, if it's close to the airport, he's in.
Cole's saran wrapping his bed because he likes to get pissed on. There's a difference. There's a difference between the two.
All right, on that note, we're gonna get out of here. What a show last night in Madison Square Garden.
It looked awesome.
It's awesome.
20,000 plus in there. It was like 3 hours before the show, the numbers were coming in. It was like 17,400 something. And then like as it continued, I think they released more. They had, I looked up and I don't think, maybe I've been in the garden, Madison Square Garden before. I'm not 100% sure if I have. Okay, so I had been in there, but I hadn't taken it in like I did last night. Like last night was the first time I'm like, it's fucking Garden. Like I should try to. And also I got lost going in there. I was in the theater at one point. I was in the back door. Yeah, I was. So I saw the Garden last night.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I saw it. I saw the freight elevator where everybody takes the photos.
Yep.
Does the whole thing. I was in one of those strictly because I was in the wrong side of and I just walked in there and the person working the elevator told me about how famous this freight elevator was, and I had never seen any of the photos myself. But then security guy gets on, or maybe a Teamster worker gets on. He goes like, "Did you take the photo with?" I'm like, "Oh shit, this must be a real thing." And then Jim Kelly, head WWE security guy, is like, "Yeah, it's a real thing. You fucking." He's from New York, it's his hometown. He's the one who was, trying to make me not be lost anymore. But I really took it in. I got a chance to see the Rangers locker room.
Nice.
I saw Rempe's locker. I went over to Shesterkin. I saw his in there. Saw the room. A little smaller than I expected.
Yeah, because it splits, right? Like the Knicks are on one side and then the Rangers are on the other.
And I think hockey has like a locker room and then a change room as well.
I think that's the shared with the Knicks.
Okay, the change rooms, which is in the back. So they have like a show locker room.
Yeah.
Where they have
for the media, so they're not sitting there with their dongs out doing interviews. They have like a one locker room for that. And then I was like, man, that's a great idea. Football should have that.
Great idea. In the back, it's like they have like I didn't get to see theirs because theirs was locked up, but the Las Vegas Golden Knights we saw. And there's like a hangout section, like a lobby, there's like treatment, there's showers, there's behind the wall almost. It's like, here's our locker room, and then we have a change room over here that is basically where everything goes. Brilliant idea, brilliant concept. So I got the chance to see that. Walked in there, I was looking around, look, they had people fucking on top, seemingly, of the court. 2 rows of these people that were just placed on the ceiling. I don't even know if there were seats up there. I have no idea.
It's relatively new when they did the most recent renovations. They call it like the Chase Sky Bridge. It's almost scary when you're up there. It's just a straight down view from essentially the roof of the Garden, just right down onto the court.
People were packed in there. I mean, it was electrifying. And obviously the stars were out. I didn't know some of them. Okay.
Sure.
I didn't know some of them.
I knew one of them that might have been one of the people that you weren't aware of, but he's one of the characters in that show, The Big Door Prize in Abbott Elementary. I forget his actual
Can I pronounce his name wrong?
No, I don't think you pronounced his name wrong, but I thought I noticed from the tone it was like who the fuck is this guy? He's a great actor. I'm a huge fan of him.
Okay, everybody that comes out is great at what they do.
Of course.
And we're very thankful for it. But yeah, we were just getting handed cards of people that were here. And normally, like, the WWE is in conversation with these people, you know, and it's like we know going in who's going to be here, who accepted the shout out. So that's a whole nother thing. Like, I saw a lot of people talking about Drake with the WWE and no shout out up at Elimination Chamber. It was like, I don't know if he said no or if they didn't. Like, that is something that is like a full on, hey, is it okay if we show you? Like, the WWE doesn't want to just assume that people, even if the WWE gets people tickets, I don't even think they're like automatically assuming like we're going to put you on camera. So normally there's a full give and take about that happens. There's people that are at shows that don't get shown on camera on a regular basis. They're sitting either to the left or at another spot down here to the right. So it's like, that's not abnormal. But last night, I don't know if these people just came to the show or if other people got them tickets, because throughout the entire evening, there was just cards showing up. And it was the first time they were ever handwritten, like writing them. And the person's handwriting was incredible. Mustache on Josh Shigara.
Yeah.
Josh Shigara. Boom. Yeah, I enjoyed his energy. I did enjoy the way he operated.
He's a dog.
But he was certainly a guy that I did not know of before last night. It was a handwritten one. Okay, so I'm reading. Okay, the handwriting, which is very 1998 of the entire great handwriting in there. But after I saw the way he was acting, I was like, yeah,
hell yeah,
I like this guy.
Barking for Braun.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin McAllister got a big pop.
What was he? What set was he throwing up? What set he bang?
What are you talking about?
What was he throwing up?
Oh, he said something, I love you, I think. It wasn't, I don't think he was throwing up gang signs. Maybe, I don't know.
He could have been.
I'm not 100% sure. You know, he has family trauma. His mom and dad left him numerous times.
New York City.
Yeah, a couple times.
His brother's a sicko.
Yeah, asshole. Yeah. I mean, let's see. I don't think I've ever seen him before. Macaulay Culkin. His brother there next to him wearing a Canada shirt. Thought that was a shot directly at me.
Oh,
okay.
that shit up.
Boom, bang, pow. Is that sign language, though?
Oh, yeah. I love you all.
Something.
No, that's a gang sign.
The first couple maybe gang signs, yeah. Then the I love you at the end. Really.
God, he's got the best pizzazz, man. He really does.
His brother, too, got big pop at the Netflix premiere, and he was there the day of that, and I think he said, no, it's all good. I don't need to be introed. So if I knew sign language like I think I do, I think he just said, hi, everybody, I fucking love you all.
Yeah.
I think is what he just said.
That's on brand.
As opposed to like, could you imagine fucking Kevin McAllister throwing up the east side? Doing his entire thing? Maybe.
Internet will find out.
He got big pop.
Diehard wrestling guy. He's been a diehard wrestling fan forever.
Yeah, I think his whole family. His whole family's in, which we appreciate it. Every time it comes out, we talk. I'm like, this is so, like...
It's crazy.
It's cool that I just get to dap up McCall.
You don't call him Kevin. You don't call him Kevin, do you?
Every time.
What's up, Kevin?
He loves it.
Every time.
His wife knows ball, too.
That's
she just went, like, viral last week, I think, about her interview about the L.A. Rams and, like, the Lakers and the Clippers. She's, like, a huge sports fan.
Let's go, Kevin. I love it. Fabulous was there. I walked out. I sit down, and Cole goes, there's a bunch of people around us right now. And I'm like, who? And he goes, just celebs. What, Rich the Kid was there, I guess. I'd never met Rich the Kid. It was good to see him. There was a Jacksonville rapper, Nardo Wick, I believe, was there last night. There was the Selling the City group back here to the right that was on Netflix. And he said, back to the right, back to the left, back behind. So, like, we're trying to do, like, I'm trying to do the casual, like, look around, you know, like, just get the lay of the land of what's going on. Because there's billions of dollars being represented right over here.
Sure.
Okay, you know where Schultz was sitting. Shout out to Schultz, by the way.
Oh.
His new special, Life, on Netflix, for my wife and I was... My wife and I, and if you've watched it, you'll see, my wife and I bawling, crying, hugging each other, having a moment, like 45 minutes into Schultz's stand-up. Obviously, laugh, but there's a moment in there that's like a real... for me, a real moment. I think a lot of people. So I literally watched that the night before. So I go in there next day and I see Schultz's wife and Schultz. And it was like, I just learned a lot about you guys last night. So it was so cool to see him. Directly next to him, Okay, to his left, we're talking billions of dollars. Just so much money. The people that were in there last night.
Sure.
It's like the WWE is reaching and talking to everybody. So
Turkey?
As soon as I sit down, I did not see Turkey. I was pretty pumped to see.
I thought he was for sure going to be there.
But as soon as I sat down, I look around and I tell Cole about the money. You know, Cole's telling me about everything he's been told. I'm like, Cole, left. There's a lot over there. He goes, you're such an asshole. I'm like, that is what we just need to know they're in the building here. So I turn around, I start looking at everybody, and I see Fabulous sitting right behind me, and I'm like, holy fuck. Fabulous, thank you for everything, sir. I just want to let you know that. FABOLOUS. I'm 37 years old. You're run, okay? Right during my life. And you're,
Freddie Roach.
Yeah, Freddie Roach got introduced last night. He has a new fighter from Ireland, has King across his knuckles.
Okay.
He has a fight coming up. That was great. Amanda Serrano was there, but yeah.
Good pop.
Saw Fabulous. I just stopped. I was like, holy fuck.
Legend.
That's literally what I said. Holy fuck. He looks at me, he goes, what's up, man? I'm like, thanks for coming, dude. Thanks for everything. Thanks for everything you've done. Did the whole speech. So I try to take it all in, try to enjoy the moment. But last night it was pretty cool spectacle in there.
That cage match?
Awesome.
Oh yeah,
man,
awesome. And then the OGs are wrestling in the back. You know, you talk to like Bruce and Heyman and everybody, and I go, hey, before I go out there, just some things, about the Garden, and they just get into like this love story about what the Garden has done for the business and for the WWF, the WWF, and now the WWE, and the amount of history and how big of a component in the, the territorial kind of jousting that led to what we have now with the WWE, how important it was. Obviously, the first ever host to WrestleMania. So it was like, last night it felt like I'm going to take in the Garden. I'm going to take this whole thing in. Getting there was something.
Well, that's New York City, baby.
Getting there was something.
That's the Big Apple.
Great weather, though. Active city.
Yeah.
A lot of running, a lot of bikes.
It's all the way back.
Impossible to turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one per light.
Especially over there by MSG before a big event. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah, and then good thing for the driver that I had is he was like, you know what? Let's fucking park it right on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So literally thousands of people will be walking around our car. And that's okay, right? Well, he doesn't speak my language, but I assume he said this is okay, right, in his language.
Did he drop you off at Hooters right across the street or something?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Great location.
Bummed out.
Is it still open?
They're all going
I
under?
assume so.
They haven't all closed yet.
They went bankrupt, though, so I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Red Lobster went bankrupt. I still think they're open.
Yeah.
We got a Red Lobster.
They're
They're
back.
back.
Private equity.
They're coming
buys
back.
it
You
for
got a new
parts.
CEO.
I'm seeing Blake Griffin all over some Red Lobster ads
Yeah, me too.
Really?
The
Trying
Cheddar
to
Bay.
save it.
on X.
Yeah, the Cheddar Bays.
I love that. I can't wait till those pop into my algo because you guys just said it.
Oh yeah.
My phone needs to smarten up, though. I'm fucking sick of it. I couldn't load the video last night. Couldn't load the video for the big night out of it because I couldn't. Literally, I'm sitting in there and I'm just staring at it.
That's New York too.
I'm staring at it just like this. And then the show's 4 minutes out, and it's like, well, I just lied to everybody.
Too late.
I just lied to everybody. The video will not be going out tonight, and it is 100% my fault on it all. I had somebody say, who I responded to, you opened your mouth and said something you weren't supposed to say. It's like, no, it would be much better actually to get this out now because the day the tickets are going on sale is Thursday, and it's fucking not going. And that's not great. I don't love everything about that. But this morning, obviously letting the world know, it is on Wednesday, April 9th. Tickets go on sale on Thursday at noon. Age, I'm pumped for it. I'm very pumped for it.
Especially the fact that you say WWE is handling all like the in-house production. I mean, so I can't even imagine. Pyro, like what's happening? What's going to be happening?
Don't worry about it.
Easy.
Listen, everything will be a surprise.
Options are endless.
Everything.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just thinking when I think of the WWE, you think of live events that they are the cream of the crop when it comes to that. So there's no boundaries. They can do anything.
It was, everything you just said there is accurate about the WWE. They do 6 shows or 5 shows a week in arenas. around the country. They've been in every single arena. They've been in the PPG Paints arena a lot. They kind of know the lay of the land. They know how to set shit up. They know how to get workers to set shit up. They know how to cover an arena, where they need cameras, where they need lighting. How's the audio? About that. What about the audio in these things, let alone everything else? So whenever I go over to Nick Khan, I go, hey, I have an idea. It's been a few years. I've been looking to do this, but there's no way me and my boys will be able to accomplish this. So if this is not in the cards for the WWE to be able to partner with me on, I understand we'll just push it back another year. I mean, fuck, I've been sitting on this for 3 years or whatever, and I lay it out, and Nick Khan looks at me and goes, have to do it. We have to do this, right? And I'm like, I think the show will be good. I think it'll be a pretty good show. He goes, so you'll handle show, and then we handle just like the in-arena stuff and logistic stuff. And I'm like, that would be fucking wonderful. And he goes, all right, let's do it. And then literally 2 days later, I'm in a meeting with everybody from the WWE, the departments that would be a part of it. And they tell me to lay it out, and what we would need. And there was a stenographer in there. Gumpy, what?
Maybe the fastest typer of all time.
There was an assistant in there of somebody. I don't know who. There was an assistant in there somewhere. Could be Nick's. Could be. There was a lot of people in this meeting that were, pretty, and typing everything that's happening. I don't know if actual stenographer or just a recapper, but that's the first time I've ever been in a room that had somebody doing that. And as soon as I hear that, I mean, it's just immediately like, all right, let's up the words per minute here just to see how many we can get in. I started speaking at maybe 1,000 words per minute in the middle of this pitch. I started laying out all the ideas. I started thinking about things that could happen. 2 years ago, I thought maybe we're going to be able to do this, but instead, now that I know the situation that we're in, especially in most of these arenas with the people we're talking to, I mean, there's a chance we're going to have to do this. If we have to do this, that's where we need your department to be able to call this department and be able to get the lighting. If we're not able to get the lighting, we're kind of fucked. Now, the wristbands that I see at these certain concerts, how do we go about plugging those into the things? And like this lady just right over my left shoulder, and then I stopped like 45 seconds in, and saw a little delay, and then I stopped. Every word was important, and big pop in the room, obviously, and it has taken a full team effort by everybody at the WWE that's been a part of this for the setup. We're talking about building the staging, building the lighting. Like, it is a all hands on deck type situation. There's a guy named AJ who is an absolute weapon at the WWE. Anytime I see anything coming from AJ, I know, like, okay, we got some magic around the corner. Fat and Marty been working their asses off. Lindsay Lloyd, formerly of ESPN, now with the WWE, she is all over it. Lee, Nick, I mean, you're talking about, it's been a great collab sesh. And during that break where we took 16 days off or whatever it was, I was able to think about, hanging out with family, obviously amazing. Hanging out with wife, amazing. Hanging out with baby girl, amazing. But at night when I don't sleep, it was nice to be able to think about other stuff. So it really came together then. And I think we pieced together a pretty good fucking show. I think we got a good one. Wednesday night, okay, the reason why it's on a Wednesday night is because, a lot of the guests, the surprise guests, normally booked Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So wanted it to be able to be something that they could add to potential schedule already. And the people that are going to be at this, I think people are going to say, holy fuck. And everybody's mission is the same. It's like, we're going to give away a shit ton of money, and we're going to put on a great show, and just hopefully people have a big night. So it's cool, man, and hopefully it works out, and hopefully we're able to do some more. It is a big investment. It's, all those big stages and lighting.
Oh, yeah.
That all costs money out there, and this is a Pat McAfee Inc. production. So I appreciate all hands on deck. I appreciate everybody that's helping. And if you're able to get a ticket, or if you do get a ticket on Thursday, I'm telling you, everything we could possibly do to make this the greatest show you've ever been to, we are doing. And you could potentially walk out of there with a lot of money. Mm-hmm. We're going to be doing massive giveaways, AJ. So it should be fun.
It's an arena. I mean, that's awesome. Like, it's an arena. It's a big deal. It's not a theater, not a comedy club. Like, it's an arena.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And has to be an arena. If you understand the show, like, it has to be Can't happen in a theater.
No.
Can't happen in a theater. That was a conversation that happened a year ago whenever I was like, I'm going to do this. And I tried to hire somebody that was able to do what the WWE is going to do. And they were like, they should definitely try this in a theater first and then kind of get our bearings. I'm like, can't do it in a theater. Okay? That's just not even fucking possible. So that's a good call, but can somebody dangle from the roof if need be? Not saying it's happening, but if somebody was to, is that going to look, or how do we go about doing? Well, you would have to enter it. Thank you. I don't think you're thinking the same way I'm thinking. This is going to be a big night, I think. So thank you to everybody that comes in advance. 18 plus, 18 years of age or older, because we're going to be giving away a lot of money. So that obviously is a big part of it. And yeah, I'm pumped about it, man. I'm very excited.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to be so, I think I'm going to get a little emotional afterwards.
Hell yeah.
I think, obviously, when it goes great. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of aspects of it that there's a lot of things that need to come together, but that's why you have the WWE. Yep. That's why you have the WWE kind of doing it. There's going to be some shit now. Hey, we got some shit.
I think people would expect that, with you're putting this situation on. They know you're not just going to go in there and, give an hour and a half lecture to people and be boring.
Yeah. And I
Gonna
lose a lot of money on this particular show. A lot of money. But I think if we put on like this legendary show, definitely there's no questions asked about was it worth it or not. It's like, yeah, just want to know if this is possible. Like, I need to find out if this is possible because I've been thinking about it forever. So we're going to do it. April 9th, Wednesday, at the PPG Paints Arena. There'll be $20 tickets available, and no ticket will cost more than $100. It's going to be electrifying. You'll sing, you'll laugh, you'll cry maybe. You have the time of your life. A big night out. All right, thank you, guys. AJ, are you coming? Yeah, you're a part of it. You've been put into the show, so you need to know that.
I'll be dangling from the ceiling, hopefully.
Okay.
Maybe
we readjust what the show is. That is, everything's fluid. Everything's fluid. AJ dropping down like a bat.
In his football pants, of course.
Yes.
If they could harness me up, I'll do it.
Just you coming straight down from the middle out of nowhere?
You're swinging around, then not knowing how to get down, so I'm just hanging there for the rest of the show.
It would be me being the one that would just...
Yeah.
What's up, AJ? How you doing? Stop pushing me.
Like a tether ball.
Stop pushing me. You're supposed to push this button right here. Just push the button. AJ, what are your thoughts on the show tonight? And then we'll have somebody pull you back up.
I'm in.
Blah, vomit all over the place. Pull 9 Gs on your way to the top of PPG Paints Arena. We're not saying that's happening, but we are saying legitimately anything is possible at this show. That is how you should be viewing it. And it's been a cool process. All right. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We're back tomorrow. I don't think we're on. We were on ESPN today, weren't we?
Yeah, I think
definitely on that TV. If that TV's on ESPN.
Okay, so we're on ESPN today. Tomorrow we are not. We're on ESPN News, I do believe.
Yeah.
Because there's basketball championships happening. I think it's going to happen a lot over the next month or so.
March, baby.
Yeah, I think we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys in?
Yeah.
We'll be 80-1
to win it.
Buy stock now.
Are you on the Huskies?
Of course. Talking about Madison Square Garden. Grew up going to Big East tournaments there. Kemba Walker crossing over that guy from Pitt.
West Virginia. Just
Gary McGee has a name.
Gary McGee, there it is.
Who was the dude? Julius from Pitt? Who's the dude from
Julius
Pitt?
Fields? Levance Fields.
Oh, there it is.
That was a great crew. They showed up at Boys Park one time. Got a chance to watch them play.
Those teams were awesome.
They were awesome.
St. John's.
Brandon Knight.
Won it. Big East first time since 80.
Who's that? Patino?
Yeah.
They're rolling. They're so good.
Jam.
He has a documentary, right? Doesn't he like The Edge or something?
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Hard Edge?
Or the Storm Bruin.
That's
because they're the Red Storm. So I think it's a storm pun.
Okay. Well, college basketball is certainly something. They're not the Hard Edge. Okay. There's only one
basketball's
team
version
that's trying to find Hard Edge right now, and that's West Virginia Mountaineers.
It's gonna take some time here.
Huh?
Let's make sure we'll remember the Hard Edge in October. Let's remember it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, we're gonna find it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, always do.
And when we get it,
exactly.
Big 12 we'll look at. This is what's coming, AJ, from those West Virginia Mountaineers.
I'm all in on Rich Rod. You know that.
He's giving great interviews. I mean, every press conference is getting more and more comfortable. And, I'm letting him know this is where this is where we need to be. Okay? You are exactly who you are. West Virginia is who West Virginia is. Don't be scared to just be yours. He said, shit. And he was like, I guess I shouldn't swear. And it was like, no, Rich, you should be Rich Rodriguez. You are Coach Rod. He banned TikTok dancing from the locker room. That was over the weekend. I didn't get a chance to hear his promo about it, but I assume the promo that he cut about the TikTok dancing, electrifying.
Yeah.
The guy's an orator. He loves ball. And West Virginia's going to be back. West Virginia's going to be back. We got a team. We're going to find one. Need transfer portal, come through. Both guys getting out and guys coming in. But we will. We certainly will. Dogs wanted in Morgantown, West Virginia. Dogs required in Morgantown, West Virginia. Might not be able to field a team.
It's all right.
We're okay. We got dogs.
Yeah. Volunteers, not
He's 22.
Bingo.
24.
Dogs, not hostages. What happened today?
What?
Big signing this morning. CJ gets traded.
Mm-hmm.
Big signing this morning. Daniel Jones is now with the Indianapolis Colts.
Huge.
Vikings.
Fries.
Vikings signs Fries to 80. I didn't even hear the subtle disrespect to the Indianapolis Colts there.
No, competition makes everybody better. Either AR or Daniel Jones is going to be better. Whoever's starting.
Amen.
Both.
This contract's up. Both
Maybe both. Maybe a hybrid. Maybe both of them.
Both will get better.
Both will get better. We did. There was
2 QB system. Do that.
Yeah.
No.
I'm okay with it. Okay. D-Butt's not okay with it. I'm okay with it. Whatever the case. Whatever helps us win games,
Yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts. That contract for Daniel Jones is 1 year, $17 million, I do believe. He has $3 million in incentives. He has $13.15 guaranteed, $850 in some bonuses, and then $3 million in something else. So, if he goes on and wins for us and plays for us, I think there's some money to be made, and that's a good deal if he's a good quarterback for us in the AFC South. We have some breaking news out of Los Angeles.
Oh.
Puka Nacua is changing his number to 12 after the 17 debate with Devontae Adams. Now, Puka Nacua was very upfront with us whenever he was asked by D. Butch about the number 17. He said he grew up watching Devontae. Obviously, has massive respect for Devontae, loved his vibes. Said, maybe you give me unlimited Taco Bell for the rest of my life. You get this number, no problem. Because I know you've been wearing it longer than I have, but I've been wearing it longer here than you have. So they had a conversation, and obviously they reached an agreement. Puka Nacua now number 12, like it was back at BYU. The Cougar, Oos, and Devontae Adams now flanking Matthew Stafford and the boys with a defense that is ready to hunt. Rams are the real deal, and that's a great edit.
Sick.
That's
sick.
That is a great edit, and that took some time to make there. That took some time to create. So shout out to the Rams social media team and digital team, and shout out to Puka Nacua.
Yeah, it just shows you how obviously what type of young man he is, and also what type of respect he has for Devontae, because you can argue that Puka is on a Hall of Fame trajectory where his career has started and where he's going, and we know who Devontae Adams is as well coming into that room. This is dope. Them figuring we've been in the locker room, so we know the locker room politics when it comes to getting your number and OGs come in and however that goes. So I'm glad they figured it out. I don't care if we ever know how they figured it out or what deal got done, but it's dope to see, and I can't wait to see them on the field together.
AJ, I love Puka. I do, and I don't know Devontae as well. Feels like they're going to be a great tandem.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Devontae's awesome as well. And they both want to win. I think they're both unbelievable players. But yeah, I'm not shocked to see Puka do this. I mean, Puka turns everything into everything's positive for him. I feel like there's no negative outside stuff that feels like creeps into him.
Now, what if they did play pig though, and Devontae came in there and just swept him?
Kicked his ass.
Devontae can play. No, he can play.
Puka's a real hooper too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I know.
And I love that was his first thing. Let me go to this guy's Instagram, see if there's any any basketball highlight. How's this guy as a hooper?
Yeah, what's his jumper look like?
Pretty good. Remember, we saw him in the locker room in Oakland, or Las Vegas, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing. Remember, they brought the mini hoop back, and it was Devontae just pulling up on people. And I assume Puka either respected that or he experienced that. And or, 12, 17, no problem at all. All right, we're back tomorrow. There's going to be big news tonight.
Huge.
Tomorrow's show, huge.
Yeah. Wednesday's always on.
Cup will get released tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
We'll get traded.
Tomorrow's big day.
Mm-hmm.
Rap Sheet's right. He should want to be free and be able to choose where he goes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Buffalo, maybe.
Buffalo, Maybe the Chiefs.
KC,
You think about the Chiefs, obviously, in any of these conversations. New England
What
certainly
are the
has
Packers? What about Green Bay for Cooper Kupp? They would love him. He would be a stud.
Okay, Cooper Kupp. Maybe the Packers had another weapon over there.
Washington.
Commanders are making plays. They just had Debo. He likes him to the Chargers. He wants him to the Chargers over here.
I can see that.
Didn't you? And weren't you the one who was pushing him to the Chargers? Who was pushing him?
I know I like DK to the Chargers for sure, but I think Ladd with what he does in the slot.
I think it's
Too many guys like him, you're saying?
A little
or
too
what?
exciting.
They can't have too many white guys.
No.
Too much
That's
explosivity?
It's not.
Zito just said Vikings. Maybe he goes with Kevin O'Connell back.
Shit, Chicago. Sure. Somebody say Chicago yet?
Nobody said Chicago.
Yeah, with Keenan Allen leaving?
Yeah, because they've invested in the offensive line now. Keenan's out. Do you need another weapon in Chicago? Who knows? See, so much to happen. We got Shaquille O'Neal on the show tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Shaquille O'Neal's new product. That'll be a good convo tomorrow. To be a good convo.
You know what it is? I see the Shaq gummies all the time, like at gas stations and more about
The
that.
sour ones are next level.
They're actually good.
Phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. My kids get them all the time.
Very good. I'm not a sugary candy person. I don't do that stuff. I'm more chocolate guy. But the Shaq gummies, we got sent a bunch of them over here. The sour ones were very good texture. I like that good texture, good flavor. This next one is This next one's awesome. This is for DJ Diesel, I think. This is for DJ Diesel. Yeah. Have you seen what it is?
I have.
For the mosh pits.
Well, Conor McGregor said, if you're going to Limp Bizkit tonight, I'll be in the middle of a mosh pit over there in Ireland.
Yeah,
if you want to get your jaw broken. You know what he said?
If you want your jaw broken, your fucking eyes ripped out, come to the mosh.
I don't think I didn't think about that being a thing because I've never been a part of a mosh pit. Been at a place where a mosh pit was happening. Had eyes on mosh pit. Oh shit, they're really doing it.
Yeah.
Like that, they're really doing it. All right, lads, have a good one. And then heading to another stage, as it was taking place. They're fucking people up and
elbows.
I saw one once in the flesh, and it was definitely an experience.
That's a Caucasian thing, I feel like.
Certainly.
Run around,
This one
punching
was
people.
a diverse one.
Really?
Actually, Travis Scott was.
Oh.
That was here. Wow. Here, big concert, and the artist had a floating stage. I think wherever the Pacers play.
Gainbridge.
And like wherever the stage it moved throughout, and like wherever under the stage was kind of like a light. It was just a mosh pit.
What?
Travis Scott. And I didn't know who Travis Scott was at this time.
Full chaos.
Boom, and then he just got out of there. Somebody was crazy.
Tony?
Those mosh pits are a real deal. I mean, the one I watched.
You there, Tony?
No, I was not there. No.
There was a blindside coming. There was a couple blindsides coming.
Just out of nowhere.
People catch the sign.
Bang, you're out.
And once you punch a guy, you just act like you're and then boom. Whoa. I'm like, well, I love that you get getting emotion out, And I think people are training for these mosh pits.
Yeah.
I think these people training. I think these people training for it. I don't know how ESPN News hasn't picked it up as a sport after that tire wrestling.
It'd be better.
Surviving mosh pits. If you go last 25 minutes in here, there's 3 MMA guys in here. And you got 2 somewhere. You don't know who they are. It's like the Joe Schmo show. You got 2 boxers in here if you want to keep an eye out.
You figure it out pretty quickly.
Those who survive will win. 20 minutes on the clock. Metal music on. Boop. And then everybody's just rocking. Boom. Boom. Arm bar maybe in there. Bang.
When do you know when to start? Have any of you boys been in a mosh pit?
No. I wish.
God. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
Wearing a helmet and a cup.
Missed my
For
window.
sure.
Nick, you
Mouth
have it?
guard, maybe?
Guardian cap?
Nick would be
No
my bet.
mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick's not a bad guess.
Why would that be your bet, Tony?
Because you were in a car club and you are
You're a car club? What's the car club?
Nitrous Rush was a fucking good group. Okay.
Just unfathomable amount of lies coming out of your mouth right now.
Nitrous Rush? You have jackets?
Duh.
Car stickers, bro. Just listen, whenever that thing would pull up on you.
Come from the guy who had his own name on his license plate and his number. This is tough. This is tough to hear. Diggs 11, driving around town.
Touchdown, Tony.
I didn't know that.
Listen, it was a Chrysler LHS. It wasn't a souped-up Subaru Impreza.
I'll tell you what. Nick, I don't like that he immediately thought that you'd be the guy that might have been in a mosh pit before. But I thought that as well. Maybe Nick did find his way into a mosh pit.
No moshing for me.
I don't even know who
Mitt
in my
had
life.
to. Mitt.
Bill, what are we talking
I have
Bill?
friends that have done
right.
it, and they say essentially you link eyes with someone from across the mosh, and you say, we're doing this, and then you link up and smack each other.
Okay, where's Bailey McComas?
Bill's done this for sure.
Bill. Bill, introduce us and teach us of your mosh pit ways. And they call it moshing, or is it called pit?
You ready to mosh?
I'm doing this.
We moshing tonight, or we
Bill
pit?
probably carries the knife. Bill stabbed the guy 20 times.
Rules of engagement.
Can you imagine?
There's standards.
Can't
for
imagine.
moshing. That's where you
I
go
can see
cross the
Bill.
line.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Bill's got an
can.
ice pick. He's got double ice pick. Boom, 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 boom.
Look out. In the crowd here tonight, there's a guy with 2 ice.
It's a mass
Can't
murder.
die.
For sure.
Bill!
Yeah, I was at a Day to Remember show. I think it was 2014 or 2013 at White River State Park, and there was a mosh pit that broke out. And I was on the outer perimeter because I'm not going to get in the center of that thing. But there's fists flying, there's feet flying, there's people getting uprooted, like full flips.
Did you get hit at all, or you're just on the front? You're pushing people
No,
back in?
I was kind of just like, yeah, go guys, go in the very back.
Oh, so you were the wall of the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a tornado happening to humans in here.
And you don't leave.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the eye of this storm. That's a target there. All right, so Bill, you've had an assist on a mosh pit.
I've been mosh pit adjacent.
He's been pitting.
Okay.
I don't know if he's been moshing, but he's certainly been part of the pit.
He's been pitting.
He made the pit.
Yeah.
Maybe we go someday.
You guys have fun.
Yeah.
White
Seems like an older person.
You guys
thing.
enjoy that.
White River definitely has some moshes going on down there.
Bruce would be the one, I guess, after
So
what we saw with him with Mike Posner.
There was some like great.
He tried to get it going there.
Yeah, he did. He was doing a full-on.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
He's
He's headbutting people.
2 feet taller than everybody.
The best networking in the middle of the mosh, boys. You just got to get in there, maybe throw a couple elbows, and then you get
Have you ever been in the middle of a mosh pit?
No. I was actually going to go to White River for a concert of a random band that I had found and enjoyed, but I found out that they mosh, so I did not partake.
Oh, you were scared to go see your band?
I was scared to go see my band. Yeah, I'm not
Dude,
moshing.
put some armor on. Get out there.
No.
Go support the lads.
Elbow pads?
Probably frowned upon.
What's that?
Get padded up. Just gotta go out there.
I'd put Skelly on at least. Put Skelly on.
Yeah.
Did you see the
Wear a spider?
Did you see the new era shirts they were wearing at Combine?
Yes.
Why'd they have little pads on the shoulders?
I don't know.
I hated it.
Yeah.
Sensors, maybe?
No. They were
They're
full
pads.
But they wear under your pads.
Yeah, they're like little Skelly kind of. Maybe
What's that
7-on-7 has them. I don't know if that's what 7-on-7 wears. I thought it looked pretty stupid.
To simulate a in-game situation where you have shit on your shoulder.
I don't know if they thought maybe there would be contact too. I don't know if they thought maybe because there'd be at least a little bit of pad. Like 7-on-7, there's like those little, like those little pads.
Seen those ribs.
Yeah, and then they got the little just in case there's
Rugby.
casual, like kind of contact. I don't think the Combine was ever going to be any of that.
No.
Maybe they're selling these for 7-on-7 though.
Promotion. Stupid.
I thought New Era had some good shit. We got some of the good stuff. The New Era stuff. You have a jacket?
Awesome. No, I don't. I have. You're talking about the Combine numbers. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the New Era hat because they sent. Well, they sent a couple things that I think got left behind. But yes, the Combine hoodie was sweet, and then the sleeveless was cool too, and the long sleeve.
Yeah, I thought they had some good shit, but the things they were working out in, I was
confused.
We didn't see that stuff either. They didn't give it any of those.
Yeah, we're not in the game.
No, not quite.
How are the video games at work? Are you guys playing video games now? When's the video game?
Playing. I was playing a game.
Your Swedish gaming device?
It was NHL. I'm no longer playing.
You quit the game?
Oh yeah.
Don't let Dahn take the game away.
No. This is what happens when you're a real fan of a team. But
this is
there's a couple games coming out here soon. March is a big video game month when it comes to releases. Huge.
I heard a lot of people saying we got to Cena turn heel before GTA 6. What happened? So this game has allegedly been coming out the last 10 years.
No, not even. People have just been waiting. But the thing is, everyone played GTA, are still playing Grand Theft Auto 5, which came out in friggin' 2013. So there was great game, but Red Dead Redemption, like the network that makes it, Rockstar Games, they've released other games similar to GTA, but it's like Red Dead, it's old times, like cowboy shit.
Western.
Also, Western, great game.
Sick.
But now GTA 6, is finally coming
Am I
out.
hopping on instead of in cars, stealing cars, I'm still hopping on horses?
Yeah,
Bingo.
literally exactly that. Yeah.
Robbing trains, robbing old time banks.
Sounds sweet.
It's one of the greatest games ever, actually.
Red Dead Redemption.
Redemption 2.
You get to choose if you're high honor or low honor, basically good guy, bad guy, and it changes the storyline as well. So like a Goosebumps novel kind of.
Really?
Yeah, it's
sick.
It's next level.
Better than GTA.
I know.
I'll tell you what, when I go on missions on GTA, I have it on my phone. So I have it downloaded on my phone. So if I'm in a plane or at a time where every once in a while I'll go in there and hit some missions with my guy, driving around those towns, just like trying not to cause any shit.
Yeah.
Because you don't
Very hard.
Yeah, we don't need hootie hoo coming after us.
Bump into a cop.
Accidentally, it's over.
Yeah.
All right, fuck. Now I'm being chased for the next 45 seconds.
Well, that's the thing. Now you got to kill him.
Exactly. I don't want to do that.
Nope.
No.
And then all of a sudden we got more. Yeah. So
got choppers.
I enjoy a GTA every once in a while.
Yeah, it's coming out in the fall, I think.
But they've been saying that for years, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. They haven't really ever said, like, it's coming out now. It's coming out now. It's just been people have been so eager about it. And then I believe they released the first trailer last year, and they were like, 2025. So then people were like, oh, let's go. March, April, they're going to release GTA. And then they announced, like, December 2025. And people were, of course, we're going to have to wait again.
But that's going to do very, very well.
That'll be the most sold, the highest grossing video game of all time, without a doubt.
Hey, that means we need to lock in on GTA 5.
Yeah.
Starting with GTA 6.
Is it more gory? Is there like the blood more realistic? You chopping dudes' heads off? Like, what is the new one?
I don't think they even have to do any of that. They don't have to up anything. They just have to release a new one.
Bigger map.
Yeah, the map's 3 times the size is kind of the new appeal. Yeah, new people.
I've played this GTA game on my phone, I'd say 20 times.
Okay.
Most I've ever played a video game. Maybe Mario Kart, because Mario Kart was kind of just like something that was dropped in everywhere.
Yeah.
I can see why people. How long do people normally play that game?
People get lost. Grand Theft Auto?
10 hours at a time.
I beat it because I'm very casual. I beat it like maybe 2 years ago, and it had been out for a decade.
Okay, so how long do you play at one time, though?
Oh.
That's not one of those games people get lost in, is it?
Oh, yeah. You certainly
Really?
can.
Like the Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, you can play it for like 6 hours straight.
You can do it
I
a
don't
whole
do
day.
that. You certainly
What?
I beat it multiple times just because it came out so long ago. So when it first came out, obviously I played it. And then, like, I don't know, probably to what Bruce said like a couple years ago, I was like, I haven't beat GTA in a while. So I re-downloaded it and played it again.
One time it took us 6 hours to beat like a bank heist.
Yeah, you can play online.
And you're in there the whole time.
Mission?
Just doing one mission over and over.
When do you eat? Do
So
you
seal
eat?
break, yeah, you just go get some pizza rolls.
Yeah,
Pause. The oven real quick.
Is that the one you guys kept falling off that cliff or whatever?
Shocks. What was the group?
Yeah, Hungry Shacks.
Hungry.
The Shack Gang.
The Shock Gang.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
There is also like people who have been in that game so long that they've become like billionaires. Not like the human person, their video game character. And
Now
it's
they're
like,
playing Sims and they got a king.
Exactly. And it's like an illustrious achievement. Like there's only 4 people, I think, in the online game who have earned over $1 billion.
And they're just living in there every day.
And they do not.
Yeah, if I was a billionaire, I guess in a different world, I'd want to be living in there.
That's what the metaverse was trying to be, but it actually already existed. It was just GTA 5.
You remember when they were selling
land
in the metaverse?
Yeah.
That was quite a good money grab.
How's that going?
500K.
Is it already gone? We already missed it. We missed the window.
You're getting the spot next to Snoop Dogg's spot.
Yep.
Well, how the fuck do you know that? Is that real? Yeah, look. And they pull up a picture. Snoop Dogg spot. This is your spot. You can buy it today.
Yep.
And you can even get access to buy more in the future. Okay. I was boxing in there like every day. I was actually in.
Yes.
I was actually in that world every single day while it was happening because it was a great workout. Boxing in there, Thrill of the Fight, I believe is the name of the game, and Ugly Joe is on the cover, and it's a great workout. And you got to throw bombs. You know, you can go leave it to the judges, I guess, if you're like Evan Fox and Darius Butler and many others.
Technician.
But I'm in there throwing bombs, like trying to great workout. So I actually felt like I was kind of in the meta. Like I know how to operate.
You almost killed Chuck.
Exactly. Chuck fought Ugly Joe, and Ugly Joe's chin that day certainly had a little bit more than we thought. And
it was sturdy.
Chuck Pagano somehow survived a 3-round fight with Ugly Joe in there, and I still think he might be sore from that particular fight. But I felt like I knew the meta world a little bit because I was in there so much. So whenever they started offering these things up for sale, and it was like a lot of money, remember?
$500,000.
Oh, yeah.
To live next to Snoop.
They were selling a lot of them. I'm like,
it was just tough to.
How would that work? I don't know how that works because I can just change my thing to face this way. Like I could change the world just by hitting AA on this thing, and now all of a sudden I'm taking batting practice in New York. But wait, I want to face this direction. Let me just do this. So where is this space locked down at? Well, this is Snoop's spot, and you're locked down right here. It's like, but what if I fucking just look this way? Don't worry about it. It's for sale.
Yeah. For just
people bought that.
$50,000.
Oh, yeah.
So many did.
Do people actually buy it, or do they get gifted it? Do like celebs get gifted land?
I think people were selling it, and I think people bought it. Like I think there was people buying like saying they created a world in there, and you can get space within the world, and it's like, okay, maybe possibly you can create a game within there. I get it, but like selling property inside, this is quite a high.
If Gary Vee didn't buy a bunch of it, then we know it's not real.
No. The celebs were gifted it, but that's how they sold it as like, hey, you're near Snoop Dogg. Like that was the big one. So like the celebrity people, I don't know if they bought.
How many people can be near Snoop Dogg? Because we've all heard that a million times.
That was the pitch. Remember, we were live. I think we're live while it was happening.
Yes.
There's a lot of land.
Yeah, a lot of land.
You ever see The Floor? You ever see The Floor on Fox? Good show.
The Hole?
Hole is a great game. Needs to come back. The Floor is, who's the handsome guy? Rob Lowe? No.
John Hamm?
Rob Lowe is the host. Jack Hamm is very
Rob Lowe
handsome.
is the host of The Floor.
Rob Lowe is the host of The Floor.
Oh, yeah. I've seen.
Okay, so you've seen this before. It's interesting whenever you say a lot of land touching it because the goal is to get a bunch of the other people's spots and you're like kind of taking over. And then whoever you're connected to is who you can attack, and like do a trivia head-to-head against. And every once in a while, there's people that will just take over like 30 spots from one thing and it's all of a sudden it's like over, you're not the favorite. I wonder in that meta thing if there was like you could buy the whole fucking place $2 million, and if anybody pulled the trigger on that, because there was a lot of scams going on. There was the meta world that was real estate that was being sold. That was alongside every other fucking coin that was being dropped at the same time. There was a lot of like, hey, you're getting a lot of money right now from the government because everybody's stuck at home. Why don't you spend it on this? This is good investment for your future. I was always too dumb to understand it.
The monkeys, the apes.
Yeah.
They were
NFTs.
in like 10, 6 figures.
Remember the cards you opened live on the show one
Top
time
Shot?
that were part of that
NBA
situation?
Top Shot. They are currently in a lawsuit, I believe.
Top Shot. We had the guy on. Remember, he was the expert.
Oh, that was awesome.
And I kept
That cleared
saying,
it up.
I kept saying, what if I screenshot it? No. What if I just?
You don't own the IP, but it's same looking. Here,
I have it
what?
as my background on my phone though. So is that? I don't understand how I don't own it now.
You still have that one card. You're gonna be rich.
Zion Williamson, his first dunk.
Dunk against the Kings.
Oh shit.
$50
Or
or
$3 million.
$500. Forget if it was 50 or 500. We bought it.
I think it was 500.
$500.
Hey, cards, physical cards are back. Like kids are into cards now for sure.
Tops, Fanatics,
Panini.
They're doing.
However, they did it. They did a good job getting kids like all. It's back to 1998 again. 95.
The card breaking is a real. We do it with WWE every show. They basically talk about the cards and everything. And I think if you listen to Lefko talk, right, years back, you listen to Gary Vee talk years back, there was like cards are real. You need to get cards. And I'm like, I'm not collecting cards. I apologize. Now it's like there's a lot of card collections going on around right now. Maybe we should have got ahead of that. This is the thing. I always think everything's a scam.
I still got a Gary Vee-mon right here.
Hell yeah.
I got a couple.
I think I got a couple of them too. Yeah.
I got them right here. This one was owned by two of these were owned by Gary Vee. Guess which two?
Put those
The
in a
Eagle,
safe.
the Eager Eagle, and the Gnome.
Ah man, these two.
Whoa.
Oh, so the
Donkey?
the Eager Eagle and the Petty Pony.
Dickhead donkey.
The Eager Eagle and the Hype Horse.
The Hype Horse.
Yes.
So what exactly are those?
What exactly are these? Fucking wake up! Welcome to the 21st century, dipshit.
These are
Are they
Gary
trading
V-Mons.
cards?
These are Gary V-Mon.
You can trade them. You can play with them. See, look, I'm the Hype Horse, bitch. Fuck you. But you're gonna do great today. Let's go. Get hyped.
And shout out to America. Shout out to America in your right hand right there.
Yeah. America, let's go. I'm the eagle. Let's get eager about life today. Yeah.
Feels like you're mocking it. I don't like it.
No, that's what you can do with them.
We're not getting into this again. We're not going through all.
Sure.
Wine crossover.
The likable leopard, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen that in a while. How about like a sponge? I like that. And the loyal lobster.
I'm a legit llama dog.
I'm a logical lion. brother.
Level-headed lizard. I like
I haven't
that
seen
guy.
Gary get boozed up on a stream lately. What's going on?
Yeah, how come we're not house and wine breaking
Drink like
cards?
10 bottles of wine.
That was awesome. I forget what night that was. We were just watching him. He's just hammering bottles of wine. Hammering them. I'm like, Gary V's kind of boozed up right now on a stream. Breaking cards, beating the boss. The loyal lion will fucking really end the day.
Yeah, well.
Intuitive and iguana.
What about the lit lamb, brother? What about the lit lamb?
It's a good one too.
Hype horse, not a bad name.
I love the hype horse.
What about the high horse? They got a lot of those on there?
I doubt it. They're just the hype.
Let's get out of here. See you tomorrow. Be your friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. Hey, great work in the back, boys.
Good boys.
Graphic boys, way to go. Graphic boys.
Way to go, boys.
Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.